majority of the locker room clears out, go in and talk to your coach and actually sit down and figure things out. And if it's a problem that you're having with the team, then call in the general manager as well too, and kind of air your grievances that way. Be smart about it. And don't just sit there and yell at the head coach, because at that point the coach isn't going to sit down and say, well, I understand where you're coming from. We should run more plays like this because they have been working, or we should try this out at practice at least and see what happens there. I mean, if I'm a head coach or, in any kind of position of power like that, the last thing I want to do is reward a player for, screaming at me and belittling my, coaching style and the team and my choices and what the franchise is doing itself. I mean, that's just the opposite of what I would want to do, no matter how great that player might be. I think if this was Brad Childress, Percy Harvin would have been gone,
Well, he had issues with Childress too, and if you can't get along with Leslie Frazier as your coach, I mean, he's got to be one of the most mellow, even keel, calm coaches. Yep. I mean, could you imagine him screaming at like Bill Parcells, or I mean, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine Bill Belichick would take that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I can't imagine doing something like that and being able to damage that relationship, and that's an important relationship. So I mean, I think he pretty much was like, I'm done. I mean, I think he, by doing those things, was looking for a way out. I don't know. Yep.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is that the Vikings finished 5-2 without him. I mean, so they were what, 5-4 with him. Yeah.
You're asking me to do math right now.
They were 5-4 with him, 5-2 without him.
There you go.
Also Adrian Peterson stepped up huge in that second half of the season and really, led the team with his feet. But still, I mean, Harvin played the majority of the games this season, over half of them, and we ended up with 4 losses. And it was that Detroit game, I think the week after Harvin was hurt, after the bye week and they came back, Ponder threw it to like 10 different guys and ended up with over 200 yards passing. Granted, it was Detroit, but I mean, that was still a big shock considering everybody thought that Percy Harvin was the guy, on the offensive side of the ball at that point too.
Well, I mean, I would never argue that we were a better team without him than with him, because I think that's preposterous, but they found a way to make it work and to send him the message that, we don't have to deal with your attitude. We can make this work. We can draft. We can do these other things. You're not that special.
Yep. And, I mean, that's the whole thing that most people back in the 90s, I think, and even the 80s would have tolerated that, because winning was kind of everything. And, there was so few, top-tier wide receivers that you could get like that at the time. But now teams have changed the way that they play football, and they don't need to rely, strictly on the passing attack to win, especially when you've got, an MVP in Adrian Peterson. Really, though, I do want to see the wide receivers, whoever we keep and get, they need to step up big time. If John Carlson can't get anything done, then you cut it, eat his contract, and get somebody else in there that can actually make some plays. Jerome Felton was a great addition to the team. I mean, he was a huge part, even making the Pro Bowl just as a fullback, was big. The kicking unit outside of Chris Cluey's inconsistent play this season, was pretty solid overall. I mean, Blair Walsh was phenomenal. Colin Loeffler, the long snapper, did his job very well. And even when Cluey wasn't that great, I mean, they didn't give up. Well, was it on kickoffs or was it on punt returns that they didn't give up like more than 15 yards on average? And I don't think they let up one more than 20 yards all season.
I'm not sure. It might be kickoffs.
Yeah, whichever one it was. But, yeah. I mean, that's huge that you can get that kind of play out of your special teams. The Vikings have shown that they're not just a one-dimensional team in terms of only having the offense or only having the defense. I mean, their special teams stepped up big this year. The defense did just enough, and the offense kind of figured out their identity, at least in the second half of the season, relying on Adrian Peterson to run and then getting Ponder the 5-10 yard passes every now and again too. But by the end of the season, I mean, Ponder was still taking shots downfield, and they're more accurate and closer to the target. It's just that we don't have wide receivers that can actually come down with the ball.
Well, and I think that is part of his issue with confidence, is if you don't have the personnel to make those catches, then yeah, I mean, I can understand where that was an issue for him. I hope he comes back with more confidence. I'm not impressed with our wide receiver core. I don't think anybody is really impressed. I don't know if they're going to try and draft their way to make that better. I really still felt like they should try to find and sign a veteran wide receiver. You know,
yep.
Okay, but of course, you know, we're only looking at second tier.
Right, which is why Anquan Bolden would be a great fit in purple and gold.
Because he's such a second tier wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. Or Larry Fitzgerald, too. He's definitely second tier.
Second tier all the way, you know. Yeah, just terrible guys that, you know, would fit just perfect with the Vikings.
Well, they you know, I think they need to get Lode Holt signed. I mean, he and Khalil, you know, have meshed, and I think that part is working. If they can get the wide receiver issues addressed, I think I would say I'm 95% sure, 97% sure that Percy Harvin's gone. You know, and I guess I don't know if they're going to wait until, you know, closer to the draft to try and move, or you know what. Or I've heard that maybe they're already in talks, and it's just all kind of speculation. But I would be really, really surprised if he's in purple next year.
Yeah, I would too. And to be entirely honest, I mean, if this is how he's going to be under Frazier with Christian Ponder as the quarterback, as much as I want Percy Harvin on the team, he's just going to cause too much of a distraction. He's going to be too big of a headache, you know, and you can ship him off to wherever you can get the best deal for him and see what happens there. You know, I mean, I don't even care at this point. I mean, I just want him gone. I'm sick of, each year the Vikings having some big, you know, issue with something or whatever it was. You know, first it was the Brett Favre media frenzy, and then after that it was the, you know, shortened season, and then the Donovan McNabb bull crap, and now it was the, you know, Ponder and Harvin tandem this season as well too. I just want to be in the news for good things like Adrian Peterson. You know, I'm just sick of all the negative press and just the over-hyping and the over-analyzing of the Vikings because of one person. You know, let's just do that with Adrian Peterson instead. Talk about the good things, because I'm sick of hearing, oh, you know, Brett Favre coming in, blah, blah, blah. And it's you know, whatever. It's over with. It needs to stop. Really, just about all the teams in Minnesota, it needs to stop.
You know, I was thinking about the show today, and all I kept thinking is it is so depressing. Just across the board, it is a very depressing Monday in the state of sports in Minnesota.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I mean, what? The Gophers basketball team started off with such promise, and now
they do this a lot, though. This is Tubby's MO.
Yeah.
I mean, they start out hot, and then they just fall apart. They cannot beat anybody in the Big Ten.
No.
You know, if I had $2.5 million, I would give it to the U to buy his contract out.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the season,
right?
Of course.
Because, you know, it's in his contract that he can't be let go mid-season.
Which we'll talk about.
He's pretty savvy, that guy.
In the upcoming segment there as well, too. It is 3:18 here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and do hope to be entirely specific. Don't forget to give us a call at 612-235-6353, 612-235-6353. The Panda Pete program will be every Monday now for the foreseeable future. Don't forget we've got Fractured Pixels coming up right after this from 6 until 8 p.m., and we're all watching with Rico on Tuesdays now from 3 until 6. So if you don't get your fill of us on Mondays, well, you're going to have to wait a whole nother week to do that. Thank you for tuning in to the Panda Pete program here on Sizzle 99.9.
So ladies and gentlemen, from the music that sings far-fetched, extreme, from the brothers we bring the whole brand new thing. We're in the house. Yo, the original rhyme, little hospital, the mic, I spit on the mic. Belittle those believe in the hype. My breathing is like whatever you believe in this life. I'm reading it right. Whatever catch you singing you like. It's like, could it be hot or could it be cold or could it control? I'm leaving it critical to the party goers exclusively. And you agree I'm much better than I used to be, because J5 MC, we here to rock. Rhymes like ours can never be stopped. You heard the four of us, even though it's six, guaranteed to succeed while we're bringing you this. I kill J5 with the recipe. Yeah. South Central MC in the place to be. Come on, say ho if you know that my flow get you out on the floor and make you sweat for show. Cause we got what you need, stuck on my style and my melody. Yeah, let me show you where the party at. The rhythm from jungle with the party hat. Party back from the front to back. Yeah, party rap and you know that. Yeah, so just kick back now. Party with the people when you bust that move. Get it up, don't stop now. Feel the vibe, let the music put you so on. Ladies and gentlemen, for the music that sings far-fetched, extreme, for the brothers we bring the whole brand new thing. We're in the house. So ladies and gentlemen, go down. that. That's what I'm talking about. You see, I'm coming with the healing plan, leaving my enemy spinning like a ceiling fan. And while the rest assume, I let my blessings bloom. In the session, I take it back like a dressing room. And it's a sense what the tuna do. Turn a wrench and you're convinced I'm as jazzy as a French Quarter funeral. Soothing with beautiful musical pharmaceuticals. Ladies and gents, this event's undisputable.
It's tuna fish in the house tonight.
If Mark 7 rocks the level, I rock the right. Yeah. Through rhyme, honor, we rhyme like Sean Connery. The Chi-Town mama, my word is my bond solemnly.
In the breeze, ladies, grab your weaves. Fellas, grab your girl and touch up your curl. Cause these MCs -5 degrees. Time to see, y'all can get as live as we. Yeah, turn the bases to beat earthquakes. Your body, your mind shake. My DJ got 9 grades. He's playing the high breaks to party Saddam stage. And rip up a rhyme sing, no matter the time.
We're gonna put you on it, you want it hype. We're gonna make you move it, your body tight. Ain't nothing to it, we do it right. Now let us prove it, we knew it.
Now if you're single or a couple, outrageous, or you're settled and you need the situation to change, or just away those troubles down the drain. You see, you came here tonight to entertain.
So ladies and gentlemen,
From the music that sings, far-fetched, extreme. From the brothers we bring a whole brand new thing.
we're in the house. So ladies and gentlemen, and gentlemen, and we're in the house.
Welcome back to the Panda Pete Program here on Sizzlin' 99.9, where Minneapolis St. Paul comes alive. We do have a crash on the main line of 35 East northbound at County Road E. The left shoulder is blocked there for your traffic. And weather, we've got a high of currently 26 degrees and cloudy. Later on this evening, a low of 10 degrees, mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, a high of 30 and partly sunny, so we'll get a little more thaw, a little wet, weather again, because we're having so much fun with all of that right now here in Minnesota.
What does it say for Thursday? It's a big day. I think it's supposed to be pretty decent. Although maybe it's supposed to snow, which would depress me.
Well, there's supposed to be a cold warning from Friday to Sunday.
Oh, fun.
Thursday, chance for a snow shower, high of 25, low of 3 degrees.
All right, well, I guess I could deal with that.
What's Thursday?
It's my birthday.
Oh, that's right.
All these people begging on Valentine's Day, and I'm like, look, it's my birthday.
Yeah, we should just rename it Di's birthday.
Yes, I would love that. We should do that.
Yeah.
It's a better national holiday than Valentine's Day, according to many people.
I would agree. I don't know. My whole thing with Valentine's Day is I don't care if you're single, in a relationship, been married for 90 years, whatever the case is, I don't see why one day of the year is more important than the rest of the days of the year.
No, you should, treat your partner or whatever nicely and do nice things for them randomly throughout the year, not just on one day.
Right.
I will absolutely agree with you on that.
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty Hallmark holiday for the most part. Oh, if you don't get to... I started seeing those, what is it, Russell Stover's chocolate commercials
those
again.
Taste horrible.
Oh, if my wife doesn't see me come home with that big red heart box of chocolates, I'm in trouble. Really?
Wow, she has bad taste then, too, because that's just some of the worst chocolate ever.
Well, it's like what you get for your kids or like your, high school sweetheart or something like that if you can't afford.
Well, it's more quality over quantity, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 Godiva truffles versus a big box of crappy Russell Stover chocolate.
No, it's super good. Haven't you seen those commercials?
No, I don't believe everything I see on TV, Pete.
Oh, it's the same thing with the internet too?
Exactly. I teach that to the kids at school. You can't believe everything you read on the internet.
But I saw that one thing with the State Farm commercial where if they put it on the internet, it has to be true.
Right.
And if they put it on TV, it has to be true.
Right.
Yeah. No. Not so much.
No.
Minnesota Golden Gophers basketball. They're bad. They're not very good.
They're bad. They're not very good.
No.
They're horrible right now.
Remember a couple seasons ago with the Tubby possibly leaving rumors, and everybody got all up in arms about not wanting him to go? You know, how it would be this huge, letdown if the Gophers let Tubby Smith go and whatever it is. And now I'm at a point where it's like, man, he could have been gone 2 years ago and it totally would have been okay.
Right.
I mean,
he's produced nothing, really. I mean, I am so tired. I feel like I'm in the movie Groundhog Day with this team. It's like
another little rodent-y thing,
right,
that lives in the ground.
Do you like that? Pretty good, huh? Gophers,
I like that.
Groundhog. Because it's the same thing over and over again. Every season, we start out great, then we completely fall apart, the wheels come off, and Tubby blames pretty much everybody but himself.
Yep. Well, it's not Tubby's fault, though. If you listen to him in his post-game conferences, I mean, it's everybody else's fault but his.
Well, here's the thing. I couldn't say I watched all the game last night because I was flipping back and forth between that and the horrific Wolves game. His substitutions they make no sense to me.
Yep.
Like, his starters were playing so well, and then all of a sudden he just pulls them all out and puts a whole second team in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I do not get that. And that's on him. I mean, I'm pretty sure the players didn't say, hey, coach, why don't you take us all out? Because, we're playing pretty well together right now. Let's completely disrupt the offense, and we'll just sit on the bench for a while. And the matchups, it just makes no sense to me. And I'm not a great basketball mind. I'm not claiming that. I wish someone could explain his logic in what he did last night. And I think this was the second game in a row where he went crazy like that.
Yeah, I mean, Tubby Smith, I don't know if it's his namesake or whatever it is, but, he's not turning this Gophers program around like everybody thought he would. I mean, they've stayed pretty consistent, which is better than what they were, before Tubby came, but they're not any better now that he's here. It's like they've gone up a couple steps and then they've been satisfied just to sit there. I mean, if this team would have progressed the way that it should have under Tubby Smith, I mean, they wouldn't have had very much trouble at all, I think, getting a player like Tyus Jones, in state to stay for the Golden Gophers basketball team. And now that looks like it's going to be a pipe dream as well, too.
I mean, I didn't think they would get Tyus Jones. I mean, he has so many options. But this definitely doesn't help the case.
Not at all.
I mean, you can't... If they were still playing really well and were still in the top 10, they'd have a shot. It would be a remote shot, but they would have a shot at him. And now they're not even the top 25. They dropped off now, which they deserve to drop out.
Well, for how many games? What, they've only won one game out of like their last 6?
I don't. It's like I said, the wheels are off this baby. I can't. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I mean, yeah, so you lose to Duke in the tournament, the EA Sports tournament, whatever it is. It's like, yeah, it's Duke. They're always a perennial contender. They're making things happen no matter what it is. And then, okay, so fine, you lose to a couple number 5 teams. That's great. Now you're starting to lose to pretty much everybody. I mean, even not ranked teams in the Big Ten like Wisconsin, who actually has been on a pretty decent run lately.
Well, they're playing better than the Gophers are playing, that's for sure.
Well, I'm pretty sure about 90% of the state high school teams could play better than the Gophers right now.
We should see if we can do something about that.
Well, maybe, I don't know. None of them want to go play for the Gophers, so that won't be an issue, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, it's just ugly. They need to make things happen, and they're not. I mean, it's awful. I mean, this team is finally healthy for the most part. They've stayed out of jail this season. Nobody's transferred or had big,
They stayed out of jail. That's positive. And everyone is healthy. That's the thing. It's like when I watch the Wolves, as much as it pains me, they're so decimated.
Yep.
I can at least be more patient with that. But this is a very healthy Gophers squad.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing, too. I'm looking here on gopherhole.com, and some of the quotes, I mean, this is from Tubby Smith. I didn't see Andre Hollins change his offense or aggressiveness at all. He shot the ball 10 times. I didn't see a chance in aggressiveness or confidence. Really? We're now bashing some of our top players in the team for taking 10 shots in a game that you played him for how many minutes? I mean, whatever complex Tubby Smith has right now is ridiculous. And if I'm Norwood Teague, I sit down with him and say, look, These are college athletes. You know, you've got seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen on the team playing. You cannot go out and trash the team like this. I mean, it's one thing if you just say the team as a whole didn't have the energy that I was looking for, you know, and hopefully at practice we can address that, or, you know, whatever it is. If you make the general blanket statements like that, that's fine, unless you're specifically asked about a player. But when you start volunteering players up and just, you know, throwing them under the bus for absolutely no reason, I mean, it's stupid. Another one was, this was a game that we needed more depth. What do you mean you needed more depth?
Well, I think what they didn't need was, like, I think they had 10 different lineup combinations. They definitely did not need that.
I mean, if you need more depth, then what are you drafting? Who are the guys that you're trying to get that you're signing? If you need more depth, Tubby, this is on you. You don't have a general manager that's going out and picking these players and saying we need to draft these guys. You're going out there and recruiting these players to come to the U. So if you need more depth, that's your fault as well, too. I'm sorry, but that's the bottom line.
No, and these are kids too. I mean, bottom line, and they're not professionals. So, you know, you don't call them out. I'm sorry, I don't agree with how he's handled the situation with, you know, and I'm not saying everyone's always played up to their potential, but I really don't agree with how he's handled it.
Yep.
You know, I even tweeted today, I'm like, you know, dear Norwood Teague, my birthday's on Thursday, and Shaka Smart would make a really awesome birthday present. Mm-hmm. And I know that's a pipe dream, and I know we won't get him, and I know we'd have to buy Tubby out, and I mean, I think we're still paying off Monson.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, so it's like there's a history of like really bad coaching selections in both the football and the basketball programs.
And contracts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Tubby's got a pretty sweet contract. His agent is earning his money for sure.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you look at it, too. It's like, you know, we had aspirations of how deep will they make it into the, you know, in March Madness. And now it's, well, we're probably looking at another NIT tournament maybe at this point. I mean, they're just not getting it done. And it's ridiculous. I mean, they can't keep dropping games like this, too. And it's one thing if you're getting beaten by better teams by a close score, but they're not even doing that. I mean, they're giving, I mean, what, that Wisconsin game, they lost like 43-42.
Well, yeah, it's so low scoring, too. I mean,
really?
Just, yeah.
With this team, they should not be scoring 42 points a game. I mean, they should be in the 60s or the 70s with the talent that they have. And whatever Tubby Smith is doing with them, the offense that he's running or getting these players, you know, they either don't work in his system or they don't want to work for Tubby. And I think it's the latter.
Well, it certainly could be. I mean, he doesn't seem to have a lot of confidence in them. You know, especially with all these line changes and everything, when you know all these substitutions and not letting them really gel together. And I mean, the starters were playing well. I mean, yep. I did not understand that logic at all. I think I read somewhere that he thought his starters were maybe needing a break. Well, you know what? They were playing really well. They didn't look tired. These are young, in-shape athletes. I'm pretty sure they didn't need, you know, to sit on the bench for a while.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is, too, if you're the starters, you're going to take the bigger workload. That's just the way it is. I mean, you look at any other sport, and if you're a starter, you're going to play the majority of the minutes of a game. And if your starters are not in shape enough to do that, then what are you doing in practice, and what are you doing in training, and how are you keeping these guys, you know, in shape during the offseason as well, too? I mean, this all comes back to Tubby at some point. If you can't get these guys to play the way that they need to, and you can't get them to respond under pressure, it can't be, you know, 12 guys on the team that aren't working at some point. I mean, you can shuffle the line changes as much as you want to. You can try to, you know, make it seem like, you know, it's not your fault, but eventually everybody gets to the point where Tubby just isn't doing what Tubby's supposed to do. You know, and at first it was, well, he's got the mustache and he's going to, you know, that didn't do anything.
And I wasn't even the one that brought that up. That was you.
I know. Well, you love or hate your facial hairs.
No, wait, it's not true, because like I was watching the Grammys last night and Adam Levine was on, and he was so much better looking when he has some like little bit of scruff. So it's not all facial hair. It's just like really like poorly groomed or like mountain man, you know, or like a big child molester mustache. That's bad facial hair.
So you have to be pretty excited then that Cal Clutterbuck stayed pretty, you know, mustache free this season.
Yeah, I didn't really like his mustache at all. That was definitely a no.
Other than the fact that it was completely badass.
No, maybe it worked for guys, but I don't think it worked for most women.
Well, yeah, not what?
Well, I mean, I think guys thought it was cool.
Oh, yeah.
No, and women were like, yeah, no.
It's like that old Wild West, like, comes in, you know, with the boots and spurs and the big old cowboy hat, and sits down at the bar, orders a tequila straight, and then gets in a gunfight later on in the day too.
I could totally see Clutterbuck doing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like the stature. When he grows out that kind of mustache too, he could grow his hair out, slick it back too, put it under the cowboy hat, get the black jacket and vest. Come out on the black horse as well too, and kick open the saloon doors.
I think Zenon Konopka could do that too.
Yeah, but the problem is he has a bunny, and as tough as you are, back in the wild, wild west, I don't think people respect a tough guy that owns a black velveteen bunny.
You know what? He is tough. I mean, you saw those 30 stitches that he had from with that fight. I mean, he's crazy.
Well, what? And he got in 2 fights. What was it? 2 games ago.
Yeah, he's tough.
He's not afraid to just get in somebody's face and beat the crap out of him.
When they probably said something about his bunny.
Yeah.
And that's why they got beat up.
Or his wine.
You don't. Well, yeah. Geez, you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah. I mean, what? The guy makes his own. Owns his own wine.
Right.
Has a black bunny.
His own wine label. Has a bunny.
Yeah.
He's a badass. He's perfect. Sort of.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Okay, I was just kidding.
Yeah. But it's just ridiculous where this Gophers team is and where they could have been, and I just don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I mean,
I would really be curious to know how many people are in favor of getting rid of Tubby. I mean, and not just the people that fly off the handle and are knee jerk, but people who have been watching the team. I really should tweet to Nadine and ask her, Nadine Babu, who's the Gopher basketball genius, because I'd be really curious to know what people think.
I mean, right now the Gophers are 17-7. They're tied for 6th right now in the conference. In the Big Ten, and I mean Indiana's 21-3, Michigan's 20-4. So I mean, even still, they've got a ways to go. With less than a month left to play, basically, to really make anything happen. I just don't see them, building up enough steam the last handful of games to sit down and actually figure it out.
I don't know. I'm kind of just over it. I don't even. I mean, I'm sure they're going to make the NCAA tournament. I mean, unless they lose every game from here on out, I'm sure they're going to make the tournament. I don't think there's any way they make Sweet 16. If they keep playing like this, there's no way.
So do you think they'd even make it out of the, first round?
I mean, it depends on who they draw. It's a possibility.
I mean, the whole thing, too, is that the Gophers probably in any other conference would have a better score or a better record overall. Because
the Big Ten is tough. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not, but at the same time,
they need to step up and make something happen.
And this is your conference. You should be familiar with these coaches and players. I'm not seeing it.
Well, and the whole thing too. I mean, even the Detroit Lions don't go, well, it's the NFC North, and we don't really know what these guys are going to try to throw at us. Week in and week out. It's like, yeah, you guys suck because you're a crappy football team, but I mean, you don't hear them come out and go, yeah, I mean, we weren't expecting them to do that.
No.
Well, I mean, the Lions don't expect, a whole lot in Detroit either.
They don't have a reason to expect a lot.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the Red Wings in Detroit, that's really the only thing that Detroit has going for it.
Yeah, I guess that'd be about... Well, yeah, you're right. The Pistons aren't very good.
I'm not going to give them the Pistons. I'm not going to give them the Tigers either.
Yeah. Well,
the Tigers went on a run last year, but...
Yeah.
I mean, they do that.
That's what they do.
I mean, that's what everybody in the AL Central does, is they make a nice little run.
That's like the Twins. They make a run and then they lose to the Yankees.
Well, no, the Twins don't even make a run in the postseason. They get ousted by the Yankees in the first round. That's what happens year in and year out.
They get hot, though. I mean, they kind of get that thing where they get hot at the end of the season and then they lose to the Yankees.
Although after, 2010, they've just been stone cold, in the month of August and September combined.
Yeah, that's not going to change this season either. It's going to be pretty brutal. I'm sorry, Pete. I know it's your thing. I know you love baseball.
Can we move to a different state?
You can. They don't lock the borders, although that would prevent more Wisconsinites from coming in, and that might not be a bad thing. But, you can leave.
I might.
You can. I can't, but you can.
I might just go to a place where there's, no sports at all. Then that way I can't be heartbroken.
It just... What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Pete.
Or cripples you for life.
Think of Kelly Clarkson.
Who?
Kelly. Seriously.
I know who that is.
God.
She did the American Idol thing way back in the day.
She's phenomenal. She has pipes on her that are amazing. Love her to death.
Flomax.
She was
Bassani.
She was really, really good on the Grammys last night.
Borla. What kind of pipes are we talking about?
I have no idea what you're just saying. That means absolutely nothing to me.
Stainless steel.
Okay, that I recognize.
3-inch, 4-inch, 2.5-inch, short tube, long tube.
This would be more entertaining if you did it in drunk Joe Mauer voice.
No, I don't know.
Stubby wants you to.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that's like everybody I've talked to, like whether my friends or some of the people on Twitter, they all, for some reason, think that that's hysterical. Whether it's, just regular Joe Mauer or drunk Joe Mauer, who, there's no difference between the two of them.
No, yeah, there's got to be. I mean, I'm kind of wondering if drunk Joe Mauer isn't kind of like a party animal. Like maybe that's his alter ego.
Well, we got to take a break here in a second. But I mean, he's got like some huge cabin out like in Brainerd or something like that he spent like, I want to say $15-ish million on. It's got
a modest cabin.
Right. And it's got like a couple bowling lanes in it, like a theater, like all this other stuff. And they say that that's really the only thing that Joe Mauer's like made for a big splashy purchase outside of probably like a SUV or a sports car or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's be honest here. That's actually a pretty smart investment out in that area to build something like that.
Sure.
Get away. I mean, you go there with all your teammates and your friends and family and everything like that. Go out, bring them out there, do that. I mean, you get to stay in Minnesota. You get to enjoy the weather. You can go fishing. You can do all the other crap that you want to do too. And it's out of the Twin Cities. I'm sure it's some secluded area where nobody can get to either. With armed guards and Rottweilers and all that stuff patrolling the premises. Because Joe Mauer, was that kind of a guy.
Right.
Whatever. 341 here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. You're listening to the Panda Pete program on Sizzlin' 99.9. Don't forget to like me or follow me on Twitter at PandaPete21.
We like you too.
At Sizzlin' Lady Di on Twitter for Di. And at Sizzlin'999. We do like all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Give us a call, 612-235-6353, 612-235-6353.
Yeah, from the home of the Dodger Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang Killer, bees on the swarm. Rain on your college ass disco dorm. Well, you didn't even touch my skill. You gotta go for one killer bee, and he ain't gonna kill now. Drop that down, pass it all around. Lyrics get hard, quick, she back to the ground. For an EMC and any 52 states, I get psycho. Killer, Norman Bates, my producer slam. My flow is like, bam, jump on stage, and then I did that. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. House, they got lessons, keep the feet and ain't slaying off. Land, the most can be seen for the turn. Land, remorse, I have I shimmy y'all, shimmy yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Or for the natural charge, bon voyage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodgers Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang Killer, bees on the swarm. Rain on your college ass, disco dorm. But you didn't even touch my skill. You gotta go for one killer bee, and he ain't never kill now. Drop that down, pass all around. Lyrics get hard, quick cement to the ground. For any MC and any 52 states, I get psycho. Killer, Norman Bates, my producer slam. It was like, bam, jump on stage, and then I did that.
Thank you for tuning in to Sizzlin' 99.9. This is Joe Mauer. I'm very excited. I'm going to Florida tomorrow because pitchers and catchers report out of Fort Myers, Florida. It's going to be very exciting. And you're tuning in to the Panda Pete program on Sizzlin' 99.9. Yeah. Welcome back to the Panda Pete program. 3:44 in the afternoon here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate all of you. If you haven't yet, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody you know about the Panda Pete program. It's every Monday from 3 until 6 in the evening time. We've got Fractured Pixels coming up after that for your 2 hours of video gaming from 6 until 8 o'clock with Taylor and Eric. I don't think they have any special guests this week, but if they do, they'll probably be awesome like they always are. We need to get some guests.
Yeah. We should do that.
We should make that work now that we know exactly what day we'll both be here.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll need
It's
to
funny
make
how that works.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you're now officially addicted to Red Bull dye.
No, I'm not. It's just I got a small can this time.
Right.
Right. And the last time I had it was a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I were addicted, I would be drinking it more often. And I drink the non-sugar, the no carb, but it works.
It's like a gateway thing,
Is
it
it?
starts. Yeah, it's like oh, you can have like one cigarette here and there, and then it turns into like 3 packs a day. It's like, oh, you can have a drink of this, and then it turns into like 5 an hour.
So you're telling me that in like a month from now, I'm going to have the Red Bull truck just backing up to my house and unloading cases of Red Bull?
Yeah, and I'm going to need to know when that day is, too, because I'm going to steal half of that.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't tell Mike Shoes either. He's a Red Bull fiend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you where I live.
I know what city it is.
Yeah, well.
And I'll just look for the one, the house that's always cooking.
Don't be jealous.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's where I'll start looking. Do you know this lady? Yeah, she came in. She bought. She made this Irish beef stew and Penang curry the other day.
It was so good. I can't help it. I'm a good cook. That Irish stout beef stew I was impressed with myself. I mean, it just was that good.
DJ Paul, we got to go over there and get some food one of these days. We'll follow her home. You follow her home in the van, and I'll go the other way, and then we'll meet up, and then we'll kind of go block by block at that point. Right. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Good deal.
Golden Gopher hockey, they're pretty good still.
Thank God.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it weren't for them and the Gopher women's hockey team, we'd have nothing going on here.
Yeah, we really wouldn't.
I mean, the women have won 38 straight games.
Yep.
They already clinched the WCHA title
Yep.
already, which is ridiculous.
With what, like 3-4 weeks to go?
I don't even know for sure, and they clinched it like 2 weeks ago, I think. So it was very early.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing really, 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 really well.
The men's hockey team split with the St. Cloud State University Huskies.
I call them the puppies.
Yeah, well, the puppies still took one from the
Prairie
Dogs.
They're a legitimate team. I'm not, gonna say anything bad necessarily about them. I don't hate them as much as I hate North Dakota.
Everybody hates North Dakota.
Or Wisconsin.
Everybody hates Wisconsin. The only exclusion I give is one of my friends is from Grand Forks. So, I mean, he is like a North Dakota boy. So that's acceptable, but he moved to the Twin Cities.
So it's okay that he's a team formerly known as the Sioux fan?
A North Dakota fan. Hockey team guys.
Do they have a plan for having a mascot or a name?
I'm
curious.
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I mean, honestly, it's better to not have a face or a name to that team because they're not memorable.
Well, it's just North Dakota.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Mm-hmm.
It's really boring.
Yeah. They could be the University of North Dakota Badlands, even though that's from South Dakota. But still.
Well, that would make the South Dakotans unhappy, I think, if they tried claiming that.
What, all 10 of them?
How about the North Dakota empty barren wasteland?
The North Dakota nuclear missile silos.
That would make for an interesting jersey. I mean,
yeah.
That'd make a good hockey sweater. Yeah, you should submit that. You might get paid.
The University of North Dakota nuclear missile silos.
There you go. Book it.
And then you can't say at least, Sue's the girl's name anymore.
That's true. I will miss that.
Yeah. Everybody will.
So yeah, the Gophers are ranked men's number 1, women's ranked number 1. That is the only bright spot in the entire sporting world until the Lynx start up.
Yeah, pretty much.
If the Wild have figured things out, which it's possible they are, then they also could be. But right now we're really just going with Gopher hockey.
Yeah.
They're our only hope.
Hockey. Funny, the state of hockey, that hockey is the only thing we have going for us.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's it's good. I mean, splitting with St. Cloud. St. Cloud's been, a solid team all season too. Whether or not you're a Huskies fan or a Gophers fan, I mean, they've been a very good team. They were number 1 in the rankings for 6 weeks in a row. So, I mean, that's impressive. I see a lot of good things coming out of this Gophers men's team. I mean, they kind of had that little bit of a slow start at the beginning of the season, but, I mean, they've really stepped it up since then, and they've kind of, found their identity. They're making things work. I'm impressed with what they've done so far. It just seems like they can really throw anybody in. And isn't the men's team goalie a freshman?
Yes, he is. He's a freshman, and he is phenomenal.
So, I mean, they're holding it down. They're making things happen with a lot of guys, that really haven't played on the team all that much. And it's a big thing when you can get a freshman goalie to step up and be able to play at this high of a level and keep a team ranked in the top 3 in the entire, WCHA. So that's definitely something to write home about.
I mean, the thing that I think is funny is that you look at the WCHA rankings, then you look at the pairwise rankings, then you look at the NCAA rankings, and they're all different. It's like the Gophers are ranked number 1 in the NCAA. They're ranked number 2 in the pairwise, which I think is a more legitimate ranking than just saying in the WCHA. Because, I mean, St. Cloud's ranked, I think, 8th in pairwise. So, I don't know. Of course, I like the one that has us ranked higher.
Well, yeah.
But it is legit. It's more legit, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a Bulldogs fan, so, we have nothing to talk about there.
Why are you a Bulldogs fan?
Because I went to school there.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I didn't go to the U. I went to St. Thomas.
Well, it seems like the U is just that team that even if you didn't go to the U, but you're, went to, like, any of the private colleges around town or even some of the smaller, whatever schools, that it's always like you can be a Gophers fan no matter what.
Right.
But once you branch outside of that, it's like, well, why are you a Huskies fan? You didn't even grow up in St. Cloud or anything. No, I just like them. That's like, frowned upon.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But
I mean, for the longest time, the Gophers were the entertainment that you had for sports. I mean, you didn't have the Twins, you didn't have the Vikings. It was just all. You didn't have the North Stars. There was some time when there was no baseball in the entire state either. So, I mean, it was the Gophers is what you watched. I mean, you had football, basketball, hockey, baseball, wrestling, all that stuff. Outside of that, there wasn't anything else, which is why I think the Gophers still have such a strong connection to the Twin Cities and the state of Minnesota.
Well, we need that. Our professional teams tend to hose us. So we need to have the Gophers kind of step up. The football team hasn't done so well. As a season ticket holder, I'm a little disappointed in that. But the hockey team's been pretty solid for quite a while.
Yep, I can take it. Oh, wow. I just saw this. Michael Vick re-signed by the Eagles.
For a 1-year deal.
That's stupid.
Really? What's their option?
To save that money and get an actual quarterback?
I thought it'd be interesting if they brought Alex Smith in.
It wouldn't be a bad fit.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
New coach, new quarterback. I mean, who was their quarterback? Nick Foles, I think, was the guy they had, like their backup after Vic got hurt, and then Vic didn't even get a starting job back.
Well, I don't even think that Vic is that bad. I mean, he was hit more times than any other quarterback, I believe. I mean, he had almost no protection. You can't be a productive quarterback if you're peeling yourself off the ground after every play.
Brett Favre. 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
So there's 8 games left in the men's schedule until the first round of the WCHA tournament. So there's a pretty good chance that they can slide in as a number 1 spot there. So it should be good to see. Not going to complain about that because I have nothing else to root for in college hockey except root against teams like UND. Sorry, Donnie.
So I do have a question, though.
Yes.
How are your Bulldogs doing?
Awful. They pretty much lost everybody that you could think of.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Like Gopher rejects? Is that what?
I don't even think they're that.
No?
No.
They just don't recruit well?
Well, I mean, they had the Connolly brothers the last couple of seasons, and they were basically the team. They also had a senior goalie as well, too, and they all left after last year. And now we're, down to sophomores and freshmen only.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think the other teams in the WCHA are going to be happy that the Gophers are joining the Big Ten conference?
Yes.
For hockey?
I think so.
I think so too. I think North Dakota's throwing parties in St. Cloud. They're in huge support of that, I believe. And you and I talked. I think it's crap.
Yep.
I mean, as much as I hate North Dakota, but we have these rich rivalries that are going away, and it's all for the Big Ten to line their pockets.
Yeah, I mean, the WCHA, it's like, and you talk about it too. I mean, you've got rivalries with, if you're a Gophers fan, you've got rivalries with just about everybody in there. Boston College, St. Cloud State, University of North Dakota, UMD, Anchorage, Alaska, Mankato. I mean, all of these teams that we play, and we've played for such a long time, I mean, they're actually in areas for the most part that make sense too. It's not like we're pulling in teams from all over the nation to play against. I mean, you've got Wisconsin, most of Minnesota, Alaska, Boston, Colorado College as well too. So I mean, it just works. It's rich hockey rivalries that have gone back for quite some time now, and you're just going to blow all that up so that we can have the only team that will play out of the WCHA is Wisconsin. That's it.
Yeah.
So we have one team that we can actually sit down and still hate together. But I mean, maybe in preseason play they'll try to get some of those games back. But yeah, and I mean, with the half these schools don't even have a hockey team, and they're just getting one together now.
I think it was one school. Was it
Penn State, Purdue,
Ohio State? Is it? I think Ohio State has one. It's new, and then Penn State, I think, just
is starting theirs.
Starting one.
Yeah.
Because they were told that they needed to do that.
Woo! And what about the other two schools coming in? Do they have hockey teams?
Not very good.
Well, yeah.
So really what it's going to be is the Gophers beating up on these teams for several years to come. Which, I guess if you're a Gopher fan, you might appreciate that. I prefer to have some competition, I mean, that's kind of like when I, watching the Gopher women's hockey. I mean, they're just killing everybody, which I love, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to watch. I would like to see some some challenge for these women who are playing phenomenally. But
well, I look at it this way. We've got a state where we don't really get to see a whole lot of teams trounce anybody these days. So I'll take some really uneven scores, for us versus the other team for once in a while. And I'll be entirely appreciative of that. Because we don't get to see that at all.
No, absolutely. And I like I said, I can appreciate it, but at the same time, it's kind of like if your competition is really not that good, how good are you? I mean, I guess that's kind of my, that's kind of my gripe.
But I mean, the whole thing too with the women's team is that they do play against some of the best in the country. I mean, it's not like they're just playing random teams. So while they go out there and they make this run at everything too, I mean, yeah, they're solid, but I'm not going to say that they're a bad team because there just really isn't anybody else like the Gophers women's team right now.
That's true. I just like to see some more competition. And I mean, I think that'll happen. Women's hockey is evolving.
Yep.
It's huge in Minnesota for girls. I still am ticked off that they weren't asked to participate in Hockey Day Minnesota. I think that was a huge slap in the face by Fox Sports North. I think they were the ones that were doing the programming for that. So I think that needs to be rectified.
And I'm sure, I mean, I don't care about high school hockey. I just, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't know any of the players. I don't know, where half of these teams even come from for the most part. We don't need to show like 5 high school hockey games into one college game and then the Wild game.
Well, they did have one girls game on, but I think it was on like at 11 o'clock at night.
After the Wild.
So, yeah, it was like, oh, well, thanks for, giving us the middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
Us meaning women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no affiliation with you outside of this.
People.
Yeah. I'm not a woman, nor am I Caucasian.
You're not a woman. Okay, I do just want to say that with the Big Ten conference, there's Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan is legit. They're a good team. Michigan State's not terrible. But the rest, we're pretty much just going to be wiping the floor with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the loose schedule, too. I mean, they've got Alabama Huntsville coming up. Who?
Are you sure that you're not looking at like a previous Gopher football schedule? Because they like to bring in those.
Nope, this is the
puffs.
official hockey men's schedule on the UMD Bulldogs webpage.
Okay.
Alabama Huntsville is coming up. So if you want to check that out, that's going to be March 1st and 2nd.
I'll put that on my calendar.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. No, it is what it is. It's also 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you for tuning into the Panda Pete program here on Sizzlin' 99.9. We are going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
You've got time for a hot home-cooked breakfast. Delicious and piping hot in only 3 microwave minutes.
Are you kidding? Yo, pretty packages of Frosted Delights.
Look, it comes with a toy. I like that. I want a number 4, number 6, and throw in the plastic donut.
Just enjoy the gritty crunch. It tastes just like chicken. Wrappers of many bite sizes.
Man, are you freaking blind? It's a rock.
All mixed in the pot full. Mama's homemade from scratch. Well, not quite. Toasted over flames, they be tasting quite right. All hail King Neptune and his water breathers. No snail thing too quick for his water feeders. Don't waste time with your net. Our net worth is set. Ready, go. Many know others. We be the colors of the mad and the wicked. We be bad, we be brick it with the 24-hour sign. Shower mind habits while you dine like rabbits with the crunchy carrots.
That's chicken.
Gotta have it super fast.
A whole line of breakfasts you've got time for.
Super fast, a criminals. For just time for breakfast. Keep it sweet, forever blue. The night goes out just aluminum. A crucial fun, aluminum. The seas ring, go out there. The seas ring, go out there.
All hail King Neptune and his water breathers. No snail thing too quick for his water feeders. Don't waste time with your net. Our net worth is set. Ready, go. Many know others. We be the colors of the mad and the wicked. We be bad, we be brick it with the 24-hour sign. Shower mind habits while you dine like rabbits with the crunchy carrots. Gotta have it super fast.
Super fast, a criminals. For just time for breakfast. Keep it sweet, forever blue. The night goes out just aluminum. A crucial fun, aluminum. The seas ring, go out there. The seas ring, go out there.
Don't waste time.
Let's go slay. What?
I'm waiting like a puppy who's been lost in the rain. But the fact is, I need you here. So please come near, let me make this clear. I can't deal with the fact that you're gone. I don't know if you know, but you're all that I got. And ever since you left, I don't know how to live. Now I'm scraping up the edges, trying to get on top of this cliff. Now everything is a blur to me, but it occurred to me you did a courtesy. Because I sat and thought about how we got started. We got along great, and that's what's the hardest. Please take everything I say as the truth. I expect a whole lot of love out of you. So no matter what you do, please don't ever get it twisted. Cause I love you no matter what, just like you were my sister.
You gotta be good to me. I'm gonna be good to you. There's a whole lot of things you and I can do.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad. I'm just thankful for the friendship we have. live. But sometimes I can't help but look at all the pictures, and I crawl back into bed and I try not to miss you. All I want is a hug, all I want is your hand, but it's oh so hard when all I get is an empty grab. It's like the whole world moves, my life is paused. I just press play and I try to move on now. There's just so much we could have done together, just like no matter the weather, we could have done whatever, and never will I ever say another bad thing again. No matter the circumstances, you're my best friend. Please take everything I say as the truth. I expect a whole lot of love out of you, so no matter what you do, please don't ever mix it up, because all of these words are said out of love.
You gotta be good to me. I'm gonna be good to you. There's a whole lot of things you and I could do.
I hope you feel you made the right decision, and I respect you more than I ever envisioned. It took a strong woman just to make her choice. It took a weak man not to raise his voice. I regret a lot of the things that I've said. All I really want to do is try to make amends. I want to consider this my apology, because the world is yours as far as eyes can see. So just breathe, my love, don't fret.
Welcome back to the Panda Pete Program here on Sizzlin' 99.9. Thank you for tuning in to the Monday edition, and the only edition every week going forward for the foreseeable future. 4:05 in the afternoon here for your Minnesota traffic. We've got a hazard on the mainline debris of 494 eastbound at Valley View Road. The right lane is partially blocked. There's a hazard on the mainline of 35W northbound at 113th Street. The left lane is blocked. There was a crash on the mainline of 394 eastbound, which is just cleared. And we've got road work on the mainline of 169 northbound. The right lane is partially blocked. For your sizzling 99.9 weather, today a high of 28 and a low of 10 degrees, cloudy and breezy. Tomorrow partly sunny with a high of 30 and a low of 19. Wow, whatever. Yeah.
It's Minnesota in the winter.
I figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's cold.
Well, it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be.
It could.
Yeah.
Don't say that, though.
What? Because, like, somehow I'm now going to bring on, like...
All I'm saying is that you've called out different, sports figures within the last few weeks, and you've made things happen that way. Just don't.
I'm not calling out Mother Nature.
Don't tamper with Mother Nature.
I am not.
Don't. Just don't.
No.
Why don't you want to have a Monday Night Raw preview?
You know what? You can. Have Donnie call in. I mean, he wants to talk about it. I think he should call in.
Yeah. We can have the two
I'm calling Donnie out now.
The two Asians talk about wrestling while you...
I'll just text or...
Yeah, sit there and zone out for...
Do my nails. Something. Arm wrestle. DJ
you don't
Paul.
Learn about pro wrestling?
Not really.
Why?
I don't. I think it's like basically soap operas for men.
Yeah.
And I'm not a man, clearly. So I don't find that. I hate when you do this to me. I'm going to get you back.
Can't.
Wait.
No, my show.
You just wait. I know which car is yours out in the parking lot.
Yeah, it's the one that's barely held together with duct tape and spitballs, so go for it.
Okay. No, if you want to do a Raw preview, or is that what you call it? I mean, what is it like? Is it on every Monday night?
Monday Night Raw.
Okay, so it's a thing.
Yeah.
Every Monday night. They have like wrestling matches.
Yep.
Okay. And then there's characters.
Yes, they're all characters.
Okay. That's about all I got.
Hulk Hogan for champion?
Well, I know he doesn't wrestle anymore. Jeez, I do know that much.
Okay. Well, I'm just checking, make sure.
I don't. I mean, I know that he's no longer a wrestler, but I don't think that's... I mean, it's also fake.
Yeah.
So why?
So's reality TV.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I don't know. This was like fake TV before fake TV was a thing.
Okay. I told you when I was like, for my 12th birthday or something, I had my parents take me to a wrestling match. That was like my birthday present.
With the old AWA?
No, I think it was early WWF.
Oh, back before.
Like I told you, it was like Shawn Michaels and
Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty. Those were the two wrestlers that I, was in love with at the time.
The Rockers.
The Rockers, that's what it was.
Do you like their flowing blondish hair?
Yes, that's back when, long hair was a thing.
Yeah.
A good thing. Now it's just a very bad idea.
Yeah. Now it's, if you don't play sports.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, I was watching the St. Cloud State game with the Gophers and St. Cloud State, and almost 90% of their team, the Huskies, puppies, have the hockey flow. They got the big, long, flowing, and it's just not an attractive look. It's just not. And then it's got to be smelly and sweaty and yuck. You have no idea where to go from that, do you?
That was totally like a, boys are gross, rant.
No, I mean, I like boys. I have nothing against them. It's just, it's a hygiene thing, that hair gets all yucky.
So you don't think they shower or wash their hair?
They probably do, but I gotta imagine that on the bench, they all probably really smell bad.
Well, you would smell bad even if you didn't have long hair on the bench, though.
But it would make it worse.
I don't know if it would make it worse.
Let's talk some sports.
We are talking about sports.
No, we're talking about hair.
Well, you like talking about facial hair and things.
I just am very particular, and I have a definite sense of what I do and what I do not like.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
So do you like that the Wolves are playing really poorly?
No, I hate it. They make me cry.
Lost another 2 in a row since Friday.
Yes.
We're bad. We're very, very bad. I don't see that changing. But at least we got Chris Johnson and Mikhail Jalabal for the remainder of the season.
Here's my issue with Jalabal.
Yeah.
He cannot play defense.
So he fits in perfect with the Wolves.
Well, I was just when we're signing people to 10-day contracts, it might have occurred to somebody that maybe we should look for someone who could perhaps play some defense.
Why? We have all that cap space.
He's so bad at it.
We have tons of cap space, though.
Well, yeah, and also we got rid of Lou Amundsen, speaking of bad hair.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was a very lovely man, but he really was he sucked.
Yeah, so you got to be happy about that.
I was happy about that. That was a little bit of good news.
Because you loved Lou so much.
Oh, yeah. Lou and I,
we were favorite.
Tight.
Outside of Bryant McKinney, I think Lou Amundsen might have been your second favorite person.
Yeah, it's tough to take Bryant McKinney off my BFF list, though. We're tight.
Yeah. This is from Tom Haberstroh on Twitter. Since Kevin Garnett was traded in 2007, Minnesota has lost more games than any team in the NBA, and they're 2-15 in their last 17.
Yep.
We're awesome.
But here's the thing. I mean, so they're playing without Barea.
Yep.
They're playing without AK-47.
Yep.
This is worse than the movie Groundhog Day, because this is like you couldn't write a more depressing season for this team if you tried.
Yeah.
The injuries have been ridiculous. And the thing is, I watch them play, and I can see that they're hustling. I can see that they want to win so badly. It's on their little faces. Mm-hmm. One of my Twitter friends, JB Hoops fan on Twitter, tweeted she's a season ticket holder, and she tweeted at the end of the game, I think it was last night, she doesn't like to see sad Ricky. Nobody likes to see sad Ricky. He has those puppy dog eyes, and when he looks sad, it's even more depressing.
Sad Ricky is like the, what was that? Puss in Boots in the Shrek movie.
Oh, with the eyes.
Yeah. Well, funny thing too is that Puss in Boots was Spanish. That works.
There you go. I love how you made that connection.
Yeah.
That you outstanding.
On top of it.
Yeah, they can't shoot threes to save their lives.
Well, why would you want to do that? It's higher risk. It's further away from the basket.
Yeah, well, then it's really easy for people to defend, Peck, and it's when they're not worried about you kicking it out for a three,
Well, I mean,
because we can't.
When Berea's in there, he does it all the time. In fact, he just runs up to the line, jacks it up, and it's a moonshot.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about him and his jacking up 3-pointers and missing horribly. We can't finish at the rim.
No, we can't finish, period.
Right, but also particularly at the rim.
Which I thought layups were like the thing that everybody knew how to do.
Not Derek Williams.
Well,
although I did see glimpses of a person who can play in the NBA.
I was reading in the Star Tribune on yesterday that one of the articles they had was talking about Derek Williams being the main beneficiary.
Benefactor?
I don't. Whatever. It's Monday.
And you didn't go to school?
No. I'm out of it today. Being the main benefactor of Ricky Rubio, and they're trying to tell him right now that he needs to play like this every night, not just when he starts or when he wants to. Which is kind of the Randy Moss thought process that seems to stay with somebody in the state of Minnesota.
I kind of almost wonder if D. Will's bipolar. Just because, and I'm not making fun of people who have that disorder, it's just he plays really well sometimes, and then sometimes it's just like, oh my God, does he even know how to make a layup?
I don't know.
It's maddening. I bet you Rick Adelman wants to strangle him.
He's very Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and when he's Mr. Hyde, he's terrible. When he's Dr. Jekyll, he's totally fine. I mean, the last couple games he's played very well. And you think he's averaged like 15 points a game, which is better than his normal 5 that he gets over 5 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's shown that he can be a player in the league. It's just that he has to do it consistently. He needs to figure it out. Because the biggest thing, too, is if he can play well now and prove that he does deserve to be a starter or the 6th man off the bench, I mean, that's only going to help him if he's not meant to play in Minnesota. Then he'll have actual trade value to go to a team that would be willing to take him. But when you're playing so hot and cold like he does, I don't know too many teams that are going to drop, a whole bunch of draft picks on him or, get anything worthwhile for a team that would be in contention year in year out.
Right, and it's just so painful to watch. I mean, yet I do it because apparently I'm a glutton for punishment. But I see that the guys that are left, and are trying to pick up the pieces of this, really trying to make this work. And they get, if they don't get so far behind early in a game, they're competitive. They can play with a skeleton crew. Mm-hmm. What I'm starting to see that's making me a little bit concerned is I see Ricky kind of trying to force stuff, and I mean, I saw some of that last night, and it's concerning to me because I know he's a very driven player, and I know he's a very passionate player, and I hope, his game isn't going to start suffering because he's just really trying to make anything happen.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, eventually, though, it does have to get to a point where he needs to lead by example. This can't turn into a habit. But when you don't have a whole lot of players on the court to help you out with anything, I mean, Ricky is talented enough to get away with it for a while. He just won't be able to hold it up for the long term because people are going to know that he's going to look for just about anything, and they can kind of lure him into making bad passes, taking bad shots, whatever it might be. But he is getting minutes again. He's starting to show that whether or not he's fully healthy, he's at least playing like he wants to, make something happen. His passing has gotten better. His shots have gotten better as well. I mean, he looks more and more like the Ricky of last year, before the whole knee injury thing. And that's a good sign that he's finally trusting his knee enough to get out there and make some things happen, and he's trying to make things happen with the players around him too.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm glad for that. But like I said, it's just in the last game or two where I've seen the look of frustration on his face and some of the other guys' faces, and I'm concerned that he's making some poor decisions or taking risks that he probably shouldn't take. Their turnover ratio is not good. And I know that that's not all of Ricky's fault, but and the Grizzlies have a solid defense, the team that they played last night, and they're really good at generating turnovers. But I'm just a little bit nervous. Ricky's got me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and I think once some of these players start coming back, too, that will definitely help out. I mean, as much as we don't like Berea, he is kind of a calming force for that team somehow. even though he's a spaz when he's on the court. Kirilenko is going to be another helpful thing to have back in the court as well too. So, I mean, they can't keep playing with 6 guys, 7 guys every night.
Yeah, and another thing that's concerning me is Shved. He gets his pocket picked a lot.
Yep.
I mean, he's really loose with the ball. He doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't guard the ball well. I mean, I saw them take advantage of him a lot last night, and that again has me concerned.
Yeah, I mean, he's still so young, though. I mean, he's what, 19?
Oh, I don't know, but I know he's just a baby.
I mean,
but
he's like maybe a year or 2 younger than Ricky. So I mean, he's got a lot of things to grow and kind of become a better player and learn and mature. I mean, he's got Berea, Ridnour, Rubio, a lot of these guys around him that can kind of show him the way. And I think the other thing with him too is, again, he's so focused on making a big play that his defense suffers because of it. He's not paying attention to the full court. He's just looking where he needs to look. If there's a guy over here that he wants to pass to, or if he's trying to make it to the hoop to get to a shot, he doesn't see the guy coming around the backside and taking the ball from him that way.
Yeah, he's playing sloppy.
The whole team is sloppy. It's not good.
I feel so bad for Ricky. I hate to look at his sad little face when they lose again and again.
Do you just want to go up and hug him and pat him on the back and say, "This is what Minnesota sports teams do"?
Right. Let me make you some hot chocolate. It'll make you feel better.
Or I don't know, what do they eat in Spain or drink in Spain?
Sangria. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Spanish
wine.
I don't even think he's old enough to drink. I think he'd be.
I don't know. He's in that one commercial where he's in the club, though.
Yeah, but he's not drinking in the club.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe he's going to spin when that was a thing.
I don't know how. I don't even know if he's legal.
18+ night. We'll look that up just to make sure. 4:21 in the afternoon. You're tuned into the Panda Pete program here on Sizzlin' 99.9. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at The Public Station. You can also follow us on Twitter at Sizzlin999. You can follow me at PandaPete21 and Di at Sizzlin Lady Di. We'll be back after this.
Make me break.
Thank you for tuning into the Panda Pete program here on Sizzlin' 99.9. We do this every Monday from 3 until 6 p.m. Don't forget about Fractured Pixels coming up right after this from 6 until 8. If you don't have the iPhone app and you're listening on your computer, download that if you have an iPhone. If you don't, well...
Why don't you?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Probably because they're the people that hate anything Apple.
I don't understand that.
Because it's a big corporate conglomeration. It doesn't let me personalize stuff like my life and things.
I love Mac. I love everything Apple.
Yeah, I haven't had an issue with this computer for 5 years, and people go, well, it costs so much money. Well, how many laptops have you bought in those same 5 years?
Right, how many $30 or $300 laptops have you purchased?
And I don't have to go through and re-download everything to my computer and format it and make it into what it is. Plus, I have this lovely sticker collection on the back of mine that I'm sure you have no idea what half of any of that means.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It just makes me want to cry because you defaced your Mac like that.
Whatever. I didn't cover the Apple. I hate when people cover the Apple.
Yeah, that's like the coolest thing.
It lights up and stuff.
I know.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Stupid. I don't know. There are a lot of people, though, that like, it's expensive and I don't like it and all their computers cost like $2,000. Yeah, if you buy an iMac or the biggest MacBook Pro you can find.
Yeah, those things are heavy.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They cost a lot.
I have a MacBook Pro, but I have the small one.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand like the quality versus quantity thing. Or if I can buy something for the same price and have it for the same time, I'm just making that initial investment up front, and I'm not doing it because, oh, but you're not getting the fastest and the bestest thing and all this other stuff. Well, I don't do much outside of type in the computer, Facebook, Twitter.
You don't do a lot of gaming like on that?
No, I have a gaming system for that.
See, there you go.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I don't download music. I don't download movies. I mean, mostly because we have DSL, which is, yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know the commercial with the slow skis, like the Turtle family?
Yes.
I feel like that a lot of the times when I try to do things.
Bummer.
It is. I'm not a big fan of it. But, it works. Everything I have is Apple. And
me too.
Suck it, PC.
That's right.
We hate PC and Android and Windows phones. But Xbox is my favorite gaming system, so that kind of throws the whole I hate Microsoft thing out the window.
Yeah, I hate Microsoft, and in protest, I don't teach the kids at my school to use Microsoft Office products. I teach them how to use Google Apps.
Good.
Yeah.
Have you downloaded like Firefox or Safari or
Google Chrome? It comes with Safari.
Okay.
I personally use Google Chrome. They mostly use Firefox.
Okay, so you don't even let them go into the derpy Internet Explorer 8.
We have all Macs at school.
Oh, I want to go to your school.
Well, in most educational settings, they're Macs. It's Apple.
Not at my school.
Oh.
All of my, yeah. Well, yeah, the computers that we have access to in the radio program are not Macs, but all the design kids get Macs. And I was very disappointed that they all got Macs and I got stuck with a dumpy little HP.
Well, apparently they're sending a message that you guys are second-class citizens and you have to use PCs.
We are the heart and soul of that school. If not for the radio broadcasting program at Brown College, the school would not have taken off like it did.
Okay. I'll take your word for that.
Yeah. And my dad went to school there, too, and he's a badass.
Anyway, go Mac.
Go Mac.
Go Apple.
Also, things that can go are David Kahn. He is
nice
awful.
Segue.
I'm really good at that today.
You are on fire.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like David Kahn to go.
He sucks.
I would like him to go straight to
the unemployment line. Actually, I don't even want him to do that. I want him to take all of the money that he has, lose it in a house fire along with the not as important belongings, but him and his family make it out safe and like their memorable wedding photos or whatever they have, they grabbed really quickly on the way out. But outside of that, yeah, no.
You've planned this out in your head, have you?
Well, I don't want the guy to die.
Well, no, nobody. You should really never wish that. I don't want him to lose,
all of his, irreplaceable mementos and things like that.
I just want him to go away. I just want him to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified that Glenn Taylor is going to give him more time.
Glenn Taylor is awesome.
He is?
What I didn't say that.
No, you didn't?
That was DJ Paul.
Wow. That was putting yourself on limb there, DJ Paul.
Yeah, why would you say something
Glenn
like
Taylor's
that?
got connections.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he needs to go.
Uh-huh.
Now. Well, and
I told you guys were supposed to be getting, firing out my campaign. What happened to that? You guys dropped the ball?
Ladies and gentlemen, please write into the Timberwolves PR department, front office. I don't know what you have to do. Give them a call. Stop by the Target Center. We're going to push Lady Di for Timberwolves general manager. She'll make things happen.
I cannot do much worse. That's my tagline. I cannot do worse than David Kahn.
On a scale of 1 to 10, you'll do better than David Kahn?
10.5.
Yeah, they're bad. He's bad. He needs to go. David Stern was in town, though, to talk to, what's his face, Glenn Taylor. Was that
About
Thursday?
the fact that the Target Center is hideous.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. They've made some.
It looks better than it did 2 years ago when was the last time I went there.
Yeah.
The concession stands, at least on the lower level, look nice. But the fact that like 1 in every 3 on the upper level and they're all the same.
Yeah, they don't have a lot to offer there. And I mean, their concourse is nice. They're big, and it's unlike the Metrodome. When you're in there, you feel like you're going to get crushed to death
like
in a
you're
stampede.
In an ant farm.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So I mean, there's so many cosmetic things that they could do to make it look better. Structurally. They're not going to, obviously, Minneapolis isn't going to shell out a whole bunch of coin for,
Well, didn't they get granted like that $20 million revamp?
Yeah, I think that was part of the Vikings deal, the stadium deal, was that there would be some money going toward a facelift for the Target Center.
Which, it needs. There's no way to get around it. It does need a facelift.
It does, and, and basically what David Stern did is, dangle the All-Star game in front of Glenn Taylor and say, hey, if you would like to host the All-Star game, you're going to have to step up your game here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That was a nice thought. A good sentiment.
Well, yeah, I mean, what are I don't know. I think Minneapolis is a hard sell for All-Star games. I think the Target Field is a great sell.
Yep.
I mean, you think about
summer.
Right. You don't have to worry about a blizzard or, 30 below temperatures.
Well, that's why the X works for the All-Star game for the Wild, because it's winter. It's most of the people that watch hockey are from places that actually have snow.
Right.
Unlike Donnie in Arizona.
Right.
With all.
Well, he just wants his
desert.
WWE Raw.
Which I can't hate on the guy for that. Although he did tweet, "Don't rag on my school," and then he hashtagged UND, but then he mysteriously deleted that tweet.
Huh.
Don't think I didn't see that, Donnie.
Wow.
Sneaky like an Asian, just like you, my friend. I saw that.
So yeah, I think it would be a good thing for the Target Center to get their facelift. The product that they're putting out on the court isn't really fabulous right now. So maybe if they made it, got some more interesting vendors in there and, liven the place up a little bit while we suffer through this rest of this season and who knows about next season.
Yeah, can we not talk about next season?
Well, see, it's just that this season started out so promising.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna make the playoffs. I mean, it was like in my mind there's no way we weren't. I mean, we had Kevin Love. We were going to get Ricky back. We're firing on all cylinders. This was going to be awesome. And this is the result.
So this is like trying to do your, 15-page college essay at like midnight through, and you have class at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you turn in like a, 8-page conglomeration of coffee-stained Red Bull smelling badness.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
This team is cobbled together at this point. I mean, and the guys that are on the team that are supposed to be there can't stay healthy either. It's like they're missing one game at a time. And it'd be one thing if it was like, okay, well, Rubio missed one game, and then Barea missed another game, and then Kirilenko missed another game, but they keep like doubling up,
right,
or like tripling up in some nights too. So it's like.
Yep.
So we're going to play tonight without Barea, Ridnour, and Derek Williams because of, X, Y, and Z. So that leaves, 6 guys on the bench, and whatever fan can, get to concessions fast enough and buy himself warm-up gear and a jersey and pair of shorts.
At this point, I'd be willing to, let that happen.
Well, I mean, the Wild have like their emergency backup goalie tryouts every year.
Yeah, that's always funny.
Maybe the Wolves could do that too as the emergency backup Wolves player.
Yeah, I'm sure some super fan would be a super, really tall and at least hopefully somewhat athletic.
Is that newspaper guy still there that smacks his paper?
No. The games that I've been to, I haven't seen him.
Because he was like one of the first guys to buy season tickets there, I think.
When he'd slap his paper on the floor.
Always slap his paper on the ground.
And he's always standing and pacing and, yeah.
And I think the first couple of games I went to when I was younger, I'm like, oh, he's one of the coaches. Because he's like, he had a seat next to the bench.
I thought the same thing.
And then all of a sudden, I think it was my cousin Kevin who was like, no, that's just a guy that's been here for forever. He always wears a suit. He always has a paper. And he just gets really excited.
And he rants.
Yeah. Oh, the best thing, too, is you can see him just like trying to chew the ref out as they walk past, too. It's like, dude.
That's a good way to get yourself bounced.
Yeah.
In your very expensive seats.
Although, with the amount of money that he's probably put into the franchise, I feel like they wouldn't bounce him.
No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think you have too many diehard Wolves fans these days.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think in order to be able to continue to support the team, you have to love them a whole lot.
Yeah, you really do.
You really have to.
Well, the fans that still cheer for the Wolves are diehard fans, but I think that number dwindles.
Well, the bandwagon fans have clearly, jumped on some other bandwagon, and that's fine. I mean, who needs them?
Yeah, it was like I said after the Ravens won. It's like I picked the Ravens to win, but I didn't go out and make this huge big deal like oh, the Ravens were the team that I had they were always going to win and they're the greatest. It's like you're a Vikings fan. The Vikings got bounced in the first week of the playoffs. You needed somebody else. Enjoy the win, but don't hurt yourself getting off the Ravens bandwagon.
Right.
There's
a whole lot of bandwagon fans in this town.
There's a lot of bandwagon fans everywhere, though.
Yeah, but it seems to me like
we don't have a whole lot going on for us, which I think makes it easier for fans to be bandwagon fans.
I don't know. I guess I was raised that these are my teams. I live in Minnesota. I support my teams. Doesn't mean I can't talk trash about them. Doesn't mean that I can't be disappointed. Mm-hmm. But I still love them, and I still support them, even if they are really terrible.
Yep.
It's just, like now, with the Timberwolves, at the beginning of the season, I thought we could be a 7 or 8 seed in the playoffs. Now, I'm about 95% sure we're not even going to make the playoffs. And I've just accepted that. Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk Twins in a little bit here, and I've accepted the fact that I will, watch 162 games painfully for around 3 hours apiece and cry most nights into my Justin Morneau jersey because it's probably the last season I'll get to wear that as well. All of my jerseys are starting to expire, and I'm not very happy.
I have a Joe Mauer one.
Well, see, at the time, Morneau was kind of the big player. I got it right during his MVP season. So I was like, all right, this is cool. And then he signed that big, long extension. So I was like, awesome. He's going to be here for a while. And then it was the whole thing like where every girl had the Joe Mauer jersey.
Well, I mean, I have always liked him. I was a catcher when I played softball. I have always kind of liked whoever plays that position.
Except Brzezinski?
You know what? He goes on my list of like 10 most hated athletes.
Terry Steinbach?
I liked Brzezinski when he was here. I liked that he trash talked because I kind of was like that.
Yep.
But I hate him with the White Sox though.
So you've never seen? Well, he's not with the White Sox anymore though. Where did he go?
Did he really?
Yeah, he's gone. I think he went to like.
Oh, thank God.
Houston or something. I'm gonna look really quick. No, but you've never watched Major League, right? Or you've only seen bits and pieces?
I've watched Major League.
Okay, so then you have to love Jake Taylor.
Well, yeah.
I mean that scene where he's like, oh Rexy, big at bat here, 2 outs, man on third. I saw your wife at the lounge last night.
Yeah, and also Bull Durham, Kevin Costner's character. Yep. Awesome.
All right.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you figure out where Pierzynski went?
Rangers.
See ya.
Yep. No more. I mean, the two things that we hated most about the White Sox, outside of them being the White Sox, were Ozzie Guillen and A.J. Pierzynski, and I guess Mark Burley. But they're all gone now. I mean, who do we have to hate?
Ozzie Guillen, though, I mean, I I thought he was so funny. Like
Oh.
I loved watching his press conferences.
Like the last 4 or 5 years, I was so over Ozzy.
I just loved his. I mean, he was. I tried following him on Twitter, but he's borderline illiterate, so I have a very hard time following him on Twitter. So I haven't been able to do that. But
see, it doesn't work like when it was like Herm Edwards or, you know, Jim Mora and those guys kind of had like their meltdowns. It was like a once in a very blue moon sort of thing when they had those meltdowns, and that's what kind of made them iconic, and, you know, why people still talk about them to this day. I mean, Ozzy just ranted and raved too much, and it was after like every loss, and the White Sox had a lot of losses, you know, during most of his years too, outside of a couple, and it's just like, dude, it's cool to do it every once in a while, but
right.
when you're doing it every night, I can't get behind it.
Yeah, and maybe that was it, because I only really watched it when he would be playing the Twins.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I didn't see it all the time.
And so, like, watching ESPN Sports Center, it's like, oh, the White Sox lost 3-1, and here's Ozzie Guillen's press conference, and it's like the same thing, you know, every night. It's like, as much as a lot of Twins fans, I think, are tired of Ron Garden hires, like, you know, well, they're a gamer, and they went out there, and they tried to make the best things happen for everybody. That's how I was with Ozzie Guillen after, like, his second year in the league as a manager. It was, you know, and then just the explosions he had last year down in Miami as well, too, were unbelievably just over the top. They were very Ray Lewis-esque, if you ask me.
Okay, I could see that.
Where it doesn't seem like it's necessarily, like, a genuine thing where he's legitimately that angry. It just seems like he lets himself get fired up to that point so that he can go out and give a press conference that gets shown on ESPN that night.
Yeah.
Calculated. You know, I don't think he's got a temper on him. There's no doubt about that. I just don't think that it would normally escalate to that point if he wasn't, you know, in that position.
Yeah. I just like the fact that the Twins could give him absolute fits.
Oh, yeah.
I always appreciated
I think
that.
it was like 2005 or 2004 when he nicknamed us the Piranhas, and he became like the Twins' biggest supporters, like sarcastically.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. You know, well, it doesn't matter. The Twins do what they do. You know, we can't beat them. Nobody can beat them. They're the Piranhas. Yeah, Ozzie Guillen. He's awful. 4:41 in the afternoon here on Sizzlin' 99.9. We are your hometown posse. Don't forget to stick around for Fractured Pixels coming up immediately after the Panda Pete program. I can't talk today, so that's making it a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We'll be back after this.
Operator, please put me back on the line. Told my girl I'd be back. Operator, please. This is wrecking my mind. Oh, can it be? The voices calling me, they get lost and out of time. I should have seen it glow, but everybody knows that a broken heart is blind. That a broken heart is blind. Pick you up, let you down when I wanna go to a place I can hide. You know me, I had plans, but they just disappear to the back of my mind. Oh, can it be? The voices calling me, they get lost and out of time. I should have seen it glow, but everybody knows that a broken heart is blind. That a broken heart is blind.
Every time DJ Paul says the mics are hot, I always want to grab it and say ow, but I don't, because I feel like that's a really terrible joke, but I'm not going to do that. Thank you for tuning into the Panda Pete program on Sizzlin' 99.9. In case you haven't been paying attention, which I'm sure a lot of you haven't, we're down to Mondays right now, so we're only going to be doing a Monday show, but we're trying to work on that whole podcasting thing, too, for those of you that missed the Monday show, so that you can listen to us and bask in all of our hilariousness, my inability to talk, and various other snafus that I seem to be making today. So you've got that going for you, which is somewhat humorous, I guess. It is what it is. We've got Lady Di in studio today alongside DJ Paul, who's been texting and tweeting like a fiend over there all hour, or all 2 hours almost. It is 4:45 in the afternoon. It's about 25 degrees outside, cloudy. Sun's going down as well, too. So it's going to get a little chilly tonight, folks. Bundle up, but it'll stay kind of dry. Should we talk about the Wild, or do you want to talk about the NHL realignment?
I'm good with whatever you want to talk about.
Well, we'll go Wild into the NHL alignment.
Sounds good.
Minnesota Wild finally snapped that 2-game losing streak. And no, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal when you call it a 2-game losing streak. But with a shortened season, that's more like a 4 or 5-game losing streak at this point. Beating Nashville 2-1 in overtime. Setaguchi, one-timer, right over Mason to get that second important goal of the night.
And I did call him out too, by the way. So that's another one that's performing now.
We're gonna have to start making a list of all the people that you called out.
Yeah, it's becoming impressive, if I can say that.
Well, can you start the Twins off in the right foot and call out Kevin Correa before the season even starts?
Sure, I could do that.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to that.
I think they have to start first.
No.
They do.
No.
I mean, at least training. Spring
Fine,
training.
at the end of the week.
There you go.
I think Saturday is their first full practice with the team.
All right, I'll work on that.
Yeah, come up with something good. But yeah, the Wild finally won a game. It seems like forever since they won their last one, but hey, they won one. They're now 5-5-1, and I mean, they look solid. Backstrom looked good in the net. The team actually played some defense.
They did, surprisingly.
Backstrom had that save in the 4-minute power play against.
Oh, that one
where he had like that
Setaguchi.
when Backstrom had like those 3 flurries of saves like laid out for each one of them.
Yep.
That was unbelievable too.
Yep.
I mean, the whole goalie controversy thing. I think we kind of know who the.
But I don't think there was that much controversy. I mean, I think Backstrom's the number one, without a doubt.
There are a lot of Wild fans that I know personally, at least, that aren't happy with Backstrom, and they want Harding to get the start. They want Harding to get the start, and then they want Hackett to be the backup. They want us to get rid of Backstrom while he still has some trade value to him. I'm on the fence with it. I think the problem with the Wild this season has been that neither goalie has really had the hot hand so far this season. And the team's not playing defense either, which is really killing them too. The goalie can go out and do everything that they're supposed to, but when nobody's protecting the puck and keeping it out so that they don't have to go out and try to make these ridiculous stops, I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing to kind of get their confidence up too. So it was nice to see them bounce back for a couple game losing streak and figure things out. Again, Yeo was kind of moving the lines around too. Devin Setaguchi and Danny Heatley were on a line together with Mikhail Granlund. The third line had Matt Cullen, Kyle Brodziak, and Cal Clutterbuck. I know who you need to call out today.
PMB?
Yep, Pierre-Marc Bouchard was with Mike Rupp. And Zdeno Konopka, they were the bruising line in that game. Rupp got in some people's faces. Konopka,
that's his job, though, now.
Yep, Konopka got in some faces, too. But PMB definitely needed to step that up.
He shouldn't be on the fourth line.
He should be on the second line.
Yeah, he should. And Yo even said that he doesn't want to play him on that line, but he said his play dictates that.
Yep.
And if you aren't gonna do your job, then you'll find yourself either scratched or on the fourth line.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing too with all the players that have been demoted or moved around or whatever it is too, I mean, they've all came out and said, I'm not playing well. I don't deserve to be on X line, Y line, Z line. So I mean, they all understand what's going on, and I know for Setaguchi, that was a huge, sigh of relief for him at least, to get that first goal. Same thing with Matt Cullen a handful of games ago as well too. I mean, these guys are slowly getting it together. You know, a lot of us would like to see this happen a lot faster, but when you really only have, like 2 weeks to get any kind of practice and mesh as a team with a lot of new talent on the team and everybody's trying to get used to where they're supposed to be. I mean, think about the opening day roster. We had Zach Parise, Ryan Suter, Torrey Mitchell, Zenon Konopka, Mikhail Granlund. I mean, those 5 alone, you know, they weren't on the team last year. They weren't anywhere around. I mean, so you look at 2. I mean, you've got the first line, which was Heatley, Koivu, Parise, you know, and then you had Suter on defense, who was matched up with Spurgeon at the time. And it sounds like Spurgeon might come back.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I think more likely,
Wednesday.
Yeah,
the Wednesday game. But I mean, a lot of now you've got Jonas Brodin up. You've got Mike Rupp on the team. I mean, so they're calling up a lot of different guys. Charlie Coyle.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely beefing up a little bit. I mean, they're trying to, I think, play more physical style of game. You know, unlike the Jacques Lemaire
pass till
you get the perfect setup, which happens like once every
pass.
Yeah.
Turn it over.
You guys.
Yeah. Guys. You know, I was down after practice there with Booch and Burns and Gabby, and you know, we were talking about what we need to do to play better hockey, and I think what we figured out is that you just needed to skate hard for 3 periods and score some points. Make sure that you wait for that good open shot there at the net.
You guys. Hey, you know what? I think I might even like your Jacques Lemaire better than your Joe Mauer.
But Joe Mauer, why
I'm telling you, I just think it's better. So okay, I have a question for you. Of all of the, I'll give you 4 coaches. You tell me which one you think deserves to be on the hot seat the most. Okay. Tubby Smith, Mike Yeo, Ron Gardenhire, Rick Adelman.
Tubby. Outside of Gardenhire, Tubby's been here the second longest out of all of those 4 coaches. This is now officially his team. This is a team that's, again, like I had mentioned before, stayed relatively healthy all season and have stayed out of jail for once. In what, is this his 5th year now? Or is this officially his 4th?
You know, I don't know. It seems like it's been 12.
But I mean, Mike Yeo is dealing with a whole bunch of new personalities, even from last season. At the end of last season, he had all of the injuries that he had to deal with.
Yes, but he just got gift wrapped 2 huge, awesome players. Like, here you go.
But that's what everybody said about the 2011 Twins too, that they were supposed to repeat what they did the year before.
I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. I think Tubby is too, but
you know, it's the whole fact of the matter, though, is as much as you want to be able to say that 1 or 2 guys would make a difference, like on a baseball team or a football team, hockey truly is like a team sport where guys are constantly moving. It's not like you're playing basketball and you can just stop on a dime, basically, and post up and take shots that way. I mean, in hockey, you've got guys that are constantly, you know, shoving the stick between your legs, you know, battling for your stick. They're beating up, you know, shoving you, you know, skating into you. It's a lot more physical, so you need to be able to, you know, stay in your area and also see where you're going with that too. So I don't think that Mike Yeo deserves to be in the hot seat. Ron Gardenhire's been dealt a lot of crappy hands over the decade, you know, in terms of the players that he has to deal with for the most part. Injuries killed the Twins last year again too. I mean, they went through how many different pitchers? I think at one point they were at 13 or 14 before the season had even ended. On top of the fact that Joe Mauer's still coming off of his injury there. Justin Morneau was still dealing with his concussions as well too. And a lot of the guys that were playing were, you know, kind of veteran, you know, cheaper, savvy type players. And what was Rick Adelman is dealing with, you know, the worst string of injuries I've seen since I don't even know when. I mean, this is awful.
Yeah, I mean, out of the 4 of them, I think he's the one that deserves the biggest pass because, you know, I don't know any other coach that's had to deal with something like that. Yeah, I mean, in this state anyway.
Yeah, it's awful. I got my first compliment on my Jacques Lemaire impression.
Did you?
From Charlie Fulmer.
Oh, good.
Yeah. At least, thank you, Charlie.
I mean, now you have 2 fans.
Yeah.
Him and Stubby J.
Exactly. I don't know.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. So yeah, I would say that Tubby Smith would be the guy in the hot seat for me. I think he just, And it's the way he presents himself to the media, to his players, to his team, everything outside of what he does, even on the court with the coaches too. I mean, he's got no reason to be as arrogant as he comes off as being.
And he does.
It'd be one thing if you said like, yeah, I made it to the to the Final Four twice. We made it to the Elite Eight one year, and then we missed out and only made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, or we had a #1 Big Ten finish or anything. But I mean, we're not getting anything to show from Tubby Smith. I mean, he has nothing to write home about. This team has been at best, I think, 4th or 5th place in the Big Ten. Why would you reward him with a contract extension or talk about extending him?
They gave him like
$50,000
more a year.
Yeah.
And then they gave him the $2.5 million buyout.
Yep.
And to sweeten the pot, they made it so that we couldn't fire him in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Somebody please tell me why.
Who was the old athletic director?
Maturi?
That's why.
Oh, well, yeah.
And as you can see, he's no longer here.
No, he's not in charge of. He's still at the U. I think he's in charge of like fundraising. I mean, he's something
but
to do
he's
with
not athletic director.
No, thankfully.
Yeah. So as you can see, under Maturi, we had Brewster, Tubby Smith,
Glenn Mason.
Although Mace makes you miss, or with some of the coaching that we've had here, that makes you miss Glenn Mason.
Yeah.
Which is
that's not
sad.
saying. Yeah, it's not saying a lot.
But it makes you miss him. Yeah, I'd say Tubby Smith is the coach out of all of those 4 that needs to go. Why didn't you throw Leslie Frazier in the mix?
I don't know. I mean, I would say Frazier would be ahead of Adelman. I'd go Tubby. I'd probably go Tubby, Gardy, Yo.
Adelman, Frazier,
Adelman. I think Adelman is the last coach that should be fired.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah. Plus, I just really like him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the good thing, too, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, though, is that Ron Gardenhire, this is his final year in his contract. They didn't extend him like they had every other year for the most part. So this will really be kind of his do-or-die year. And we'll get more in-depth in that in just a bit. But it is 4:57 here in New Hope, Minnesota. It's also 25 degrees and cloudy outside. Thank you for tuning in to the Panda Pete program here on Sizzlin' 99.9.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now. We're the renegades in this atomic age. This atomic age of renegades. The renegades in this atomic age. This atomic age of renegades. Since the prehistoric ages and the days of ancient Greece, on down to the Middle Ages. And in the Renaissance came, and times
Welcome back to the Panda Pete Program here on Sizzlin' 99.9. Big shout out to Nick Almberg. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Appreciate it. I don't know. Let's look at some traffic. We've got only road work on the main line at 494 eastbound at France Avenue. The left lane is blocked there, but that'll definitely slow some traffic down that way. 28 degrees and cloudy and breezy with a low of 10 degrees later on this evening. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 30, a low of 19. Wednesday, we've got flurries in the afternoon, a high of 36 and a low of 21 in the evening. So that's going to be, another wonderful day in Minnesota winter. Awesome. Super pumped about that, Di, aren't you?
No.
No? Not so much?
I hate winter.
Yeah, well, you picked a bad state to stay in.
Well, I can't help it. It's like you have kids and your parents are like, you can't leave. We only had you so we could have grandkids. Seriously. And I'm being blackmailed to stay here. It's and I got a ways to go. My youngest is 6.
Eee.
I know.
12 years.
Don't remind me.
Well, actually, technically, I guess, 16?
Well, I could kick her out early, I guess.
They're doing the college thing, though.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely are doing the college thing. My son thinks he's going to drive a school bus. That's what he wants to do.
And I said, drove a school bus at one point.
I said, you could drive a school bus when you're not at class, but you are going to college. That's not an option.
Yeah. Go to school.
That's right.
School is cool.
Yeah, we had his conferences Thursday night. It wasn't a good thing.
Why?
We don't have to talk about it, though.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. Yeah, moving on.
NHL realignment. This is going to be a lot of fun to talk about. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. This is according to the Washington Times. The NHL realignment is expected to be back on the table later this week at the Board of Governors meeting, but a year after the NHL Players Association squashed the proposed four-conference format that the league tried to unilaterally implement, this time the players want a say in the process. I hope it goes through. I really want this to work out. They show what one of the conference would be with the Capitals. They'd have the Carolina Hurricanes and the Pittsburgh Penguins, Philadelphia Flyers, the New York Rangers, the New York Islanders, and the New Jersey Devils. For us, what's more important? We'd have the Detroit Red Wings, Columbus Blue Jackets, Nashville Predators, St. Louis Blues, Chicago Blackhawks, the Dallas Stars, and the Winnipeg Jets.
And you are in favor of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least some of these teams actually have like rivalries outside of just hockey with us.
True. That's true.
When you look at it too, you've got Detroit, Chicago. If Wisconsin had a team in there, they'd be there too. But you've got the St. Louis Blues, Columbus. Winnipeg and Nashville and Columbus are kind of all in the relative vicinity of what it is, alongside the Dallas Stars, because they're mostly just south of us, and they were the North Stars at one point too. I think it works, especially for travel too. We won't have those awful 9, 10 o'clock starts some nights.
Yeah, I hate that. When the Wolves go out west.
Yep.
Ugh.
So it's going to cut down on travel expenses for the majority of the season. It's going to, kind of promote old school rivalries that used to be there that aren't there anymore. Personally, I love yelling at the Red Wings and Blackhawks whenever I get a chance to, because it's Detroit and it's Chicago.
Well, those were always the best games. When I used to go to North Stars games, it was always the Blackhawks and the Red Wings that were the games that you wanted to go to, because those were your biggest rivalries. And
it's always fun to see the Stars come to town too, even if there's a little bittersweet love for them, at this point. But I would definitely not mind it. You've got, then on the other side, you've got Los Angeles, the Kings, the Anaheim Ducks, the Phoenix Coyotes, the San Jose Sharks, the Vancouver Canucks, the Calgary Flames, the Edmonton Oilers, and the Colorado Avalanche. That would be an awesome division to be a part of if you were a fan of any of those teams.
Yes.
You've got all the California teams sitting out there ready to go, the parts of Canada up north that you can pull from as well too, and then Colorado just kind of moseys on over every now and again, so that wouldn't be bad. And then the fourth conference would be the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Ottawa Senators, the Buffalo Sabres, the Boston Bruins, the Florida Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So if this is the proposed realignment and what they ended up deciding on, at least they're looking at it geographically, and trying to make some of the better conferences work. Cut down on travel time and expenses as well too, so the teams can save a little bit of money that way, and then you don't have those red-eye flights from one place to the next, hopefully, the majority of the time. Plus, it breaks up those 3 subdivisions side of the 15-team divisions as well.
Isn't that what the I thought the Players Association voted? I mean, I thought that was a point of contention, is they didn't want to do that, or what was it the other?
I think what it was is that the owners wanted to vote on it without the players' input.
Okay.
And then the players themselves said no because they didn't have any vote or say in it too. I think they want to come in and actually talk about what they feel would be best for, whatever it is, business, I guess, at that point. But if it does get voted on and does get passed, I mean, it probably won't be a 2013, 2014. It'll be more like a 14, 15, somewhere in there as well too. But, I mean, it'd be fun. I would definitely appreciate that more than whatever we have for a division right now, which is, random and...
Well, and I don't understand what would be the opposition. I mean, why would anybody be opposed, whether it be owners or players or fans even?
I don't know. Probably. Well, I think the biggest thing, though, is that it breaks up a lot of the divisions that don't necessarily have a lot of strength in that team specifically.
Okay.
So then instead of having a relatively strong subdivision or whatever inside of the, general overall divisions, that some of the teams are going to feel like they're kind of left out in the shuffle, or that they're playing in conference now that has teams that they didn't, normally play against, and they don't have the rivalries that they did with the teams currently. So that's going to be bad for money. I don't know. I mean, mostly the southern teams, I think, are the teams that would get mad about that. But
okay, but quite frankly, there shouldn't even be hockey down there.
If you don't get snow on a regular basis every year, you don't deserve a hockey team. Sorry, Florida and Phoenix.
Uh-oh, that might be Donnie's team.
I think Donnie likes the Wild. If he doesn't, I'm going to slap him.
All right, works for me.
Via Twitter. But, I mean, you've got, right now? You have New Jersey, Pittsburgh, the Rangers, Philadelphia, and the Islanders in one, which is fine. Boston, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and Buffalo, which is good. But then you've got Tampa Bay, Carolina, Winnipeg, Florida, and Washington. I mean, really, outside of Washington, I don't see a whole lot of people getting... Well, Washington and Winnipeg, I guess. But, yeah, Florida, Tampa Bay, and Carolina don't really do a whole lot for anybody. Then you've got Chicago, Detroit, Nashville, St. Louis, and Columbus, which is a pretty strong division. Vancouver, Edmonton, Minnesota, Calgary, Colorado, our division. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. I don't know. And then the Pacific is Anaheim, San Jose, Dallas, Phoenix, and Los Angeles. So, I mean, most of those work there, too. So, really, it's only a couple of them that I think would be better suited, But overall, I think it'd just be more fun to have bigger divisions anyways. Get more, in-division play as opposed to just kind of wandering around the whole NHL all season.
So, I mean, you feel like they're fairly balanced, though?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a question for me is, what does that look like as far as, quality of teams?
Mm-hmm.
Is one division going to be worse off or, have like a bunch of cream puffs and then one really dominating team?
Not really. I mean, we'll go through it again. I mean, you've got the Capitals, the Hurricanes, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Philadelphia Flyers, the New York Rangers, the New York Islanders, and the New Jersey Devils. So, I mean, in that division, it would probably be the Canes and the Islanders would kind of be the weakest in there, and all the other teams. But, I mean, even when they play well, they're still a pretty solid team. Then you've got the Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Ottawa Senators, the Buffalo Sabres, the Boston Bruins, the Florida Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, really, the Panthers would kind of be the biggest odd man out in that division. And I guess even the Senators aren't that great either. But most of the other teams in there are still pretty solid.
Okay.
Would make some things happen. I mean, in our division, Detroit, perennial playoff team. The Columbus Blue Jackets, they're okay. They're nothing to write home about. Nashville, still a solid team. I mean, they had won 4 straight since before we beat them on Saturday. Yes, Saturday.
Yes.
St. Louis Blues, I mean, that's always been a solid team to play against, at least for us. Chicago Blackhawks were 6-0 before they lost to the Wild. Then us, who theoretically should be in the top half of that division. The Dallas Stars, always a solid team, and the Winnipeg Jets. So, I mean, out of those first 3 divisions, I think that, there's going to be a couple teams that'll bounce up and down, but they seem pretty fair and balanced overall, from an outsider's perspective.
Okay. I just was curious because I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to that whole... I mean, I'm one of those I kind of like to have things settled before I like kind of really invest in it, and so since it's kind of up in the air, I just haven't really given it a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's something that they want to push. I know that Craig Leopold, the owner of the Wild, was very disappointed that they didn't get that done in the last meeting too, and he's been one of the bigger voices in terms of trying to push this ahead and make this, something that'll happen too. So, I mean, I would definitely be for it if they went along that route and tried to make something happen that way.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. We're gonna move on to the Twins. Not good
stuff.
Not a whole lot to talk about, but we've got some stuff. In the Strib on Sunday, Ron Gardenhire had an article where they interviewed him and both Tom Kelly, the former manager of the Minnesota Twins, and TK had a lot of really good things to say about Gardenhire, what he's been doing the last couple of years too. I think it's like if Bud Grant were to come back and give Leslie Frazier his vote of confidence for the Vikings, same thing with Tom Kelly giving Ron Gardenhire a big thumbs up there too. I mean, everybody wants to blame Gardenhire and Rick Anderson as for not bringing this team to the promised land. But, I mean, just look at what Rick Anderson had to deal with last year. Sam Diduno, Scott Diamond, Liam Hendricks, P.J. Walters, Carl Pavano, Nick Blackburn, Swarzak, Dunsing, Tyler Robertson, Glenn Perkins. I mean, the list of names, Casey Feen, goes on and on. I mean, I just saw that John Roush got picked up for a AAA contract, and he was our closer 2 years ago. Matt Capps got picked up as a AAA player, and he was supposedly our closer, most half of last year. I mean, the talent that they've had coming through, at least on the pitching side of the ball, has not been good. I mean, most of those guys were straight call-ups from AAA ball. They weren't big-name free agents that we got, and they just didn't pan out, or they got hurt, or they got into arguments with Rick Anderson about what was going on. Francisco Liriano, Denny Reyes, Jose Majares. I mean, the list goes on and on with the kind of pitchers that Rick Anderson has to deal with. Now, I'm not saying that that clears Rick Anderson from what he's supposed to do, but when you have inconsistent pitching every season, and it's brand new guys coming up each and every week, then getting hurt, calling up somebody new, and then they come back and somebody else gets hurt. I mean, it's a constant roulette of who's going to be up and who's going to be healthy and what to expect from them, and they're not getting to work out fully because they're constantly hurt too. It doesn't inspire a whole lot of confidence in just the pitching talent alone. As far as the offensive side of the ball goes, I know that struggled for the most part too, but in a baseball game you should be able to win games when you're only up by maybe 1 or 2 runs as well. But the Twins weren't even able to do that because they'd given up 3 or 4 runs in the second, inning alone.
But with the offensive power that this team should have,
yep,
you should be able to put up more than 1 or 2 runs.
Right. It's very disheartening though when your pitcher goes out and gets shelled and then gets pulled, before he strikes out somebody in the second.
Oh
inning.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of it too, is when you're down like that, you try too hard and you don't get into that natural swing. And you don't have that relaxed and carefree thing, which is what Ricky Rubio was talking about too. For the Timberwolves, is that he was trying too hard, and that's what was causing his shots not to fall. His passes weren't really working the way that he wanted them to. And it's the same thing with baseball. Instead of you being on the field with a whole bunch of other guys that you can kind of pass and hope for a shot, it's you versus 10 other guys on the field at that point. Or 9. Yeah, 9 guys. So I mean, you have to, and it's chess. Every at bat is chess. What's the pitcher going to throw? Where do I need to stand? How do I need to hold the bat? And so a lot of the things that happen with teams is that they start overthinking it, and they just don't play the way that they need to.
Okay.
When you're trying, when you are a power hitter, or you're a guy that gets a lot of RBIs or whatever it is that you do, and the first 2 guys ahead of you didn't get on base because they struck out or they tried to go 1 too many bases to force something, and now you're the 3rd guy up, Joe Mauer, and you're going, oh, okay, cool. Now what do I do?
I guess part of my answer to that would be you're being paid an awful lot of money to do your job. So just because someone else might not be doing their job doesn't mean that excuses you from doing your job.
I'm not saying that anybody has excuses for it. It's just that when you do that, a lot of players just try too hard, and they get out of the swing of things, and it screws with their mechanics. I mean, I remember when I played baseball, when you tried to swing too hard or you tried to, do too much with what you were capable of doing, it's better to get a single than try to swing for a home run every time if you're capable of getting singles.
That's true.
And a lot of these guys are trying to shoot for the warning track every time, and they're not that kind of player. I mean, Ben Revere, Denard Span are not home run hitters. Jamie Carroll is not a home run hitter. I mean, even Joe Mauer is not a home run hitter.
That's not the style that he could be.
He could be if he wanted to, but that's not how he plays.
Nope, that's not his thing.
I mean, you've got Josh Willingham, home run hitter. Justin Morneau, when he's healthy, home run hitter. Outside of that, rest of the guys on the team, although Trevor Plouffe is a home run hitter. I mean, he put up he had like 17 last year.
Yeah, no, I'm not dissing
for the Twins,
Trevor.
He's a home run hitter.
Right. But you have to have all types of hitters. I mean, you can't have everybody who wants to hit home runs.
Unless you're the Yankees.
Well, don't even get me started on the Yankees.
But I think a lot of it, too, is that, again, the big players didn't play their position when they should. I mean, Joe Mauer played only 84 games at catcher last year. So when he's not playing catcher, you were left with either Drew Butera or what's the mini Kubel? I can't remember his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name, though.
It's Willingham and then the other guy that we got.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Domet.
Yep.
Jason Domet?
Jason Domet? Brian Domet?
Ryan Domet.
Ryan Domet?
Ryan Domet. Doumit. Figured it out. Got there. Word association. Weird. So, I mean, you've got... He's your backup catcher, on days that Drew Butera isn't catching. Love Drew Butera to death. I mean, his biggest contribution to the team, though, was pitching a shutout inning. And he's supposed to be our backup catcher.
He did it.
So did Kadire.
Right. Well, we don't have him anymore.
But, I'm just saying. If you're the backup catcher and your biggest contribution to the team is pitching a scoreless inning, yeah.
You kind of suck.
You're not that good.
No.
I mean, he makes me long for the days of Nick Punto's, batting average of 220 when Butera's hitting 170 something and getting starts every third day.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It hurts me a lot.
It's got to be painful.
Yeah. So, I mean,
you're going to be crying a lot this season. I'm going to bring you lots of Kleenex.
If they can go 71 and 91 or somewhere about there, I think this team will be on the right upswing. I think they can do it. If everybody comes back healthy on the offensive side of the ball and we get what's expected out of the pitching that we have and we get some surprises out of the guys, that may or may not be with the team because they're going to start the season out at AAA, I think we could get a lot of surprises out of this team. And I don't think that they're necessarily as bad off as everybody says that they're going to be. They're not going to win the division by any means, but if they could finish third, that would show a lot of improvement, having finished dead last the last two seasons.
I can see that. I mean, no one's expecting them to make the playoffs this season.
And if you are,
put the crack pipe down.
That's bad.
Yeah, because they're not. I guess if you can temper your expectations and are just looking for growth, then yeah. I mean, we're not asking, I think, when I speak for the majority of sane Twins fans, we're not asking for you to do everything. Just do a few things well, make improvements, build your team, because clearly they're rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
no team ever rebuilds, Di.
Actually, Minnesota teams rebuild a lot.
No.
They don't admit that they're rebuilding.
Yeah, exactly.
But they rebuild.
So I look at this team, I see a lot of promise there. I mean, they've got some guys in the pitching staff that I think could be big surprises. Kevin Correa was a terrible signing. I'm not entirely sure why they even went out after him. He's
on my list for Saturday.
Maybe if we could just trade him for a better pitcher, that would make it a lot easier for us to expect something out of him. I mean, we got rid of a lot of dead weight. Delman Young joke. Jose Mahari's joke.
That was good.
Over the last couple seasons. So it's if Justin Morneau can come back healthy, regain that MVP form, or at least, 3/4 of that, I think this team is going to be a lot better off, too. I mean, you've got Artis Hicks, Joe Benson, Chris Parmelee, a lot of guys coming up from AAA that are going to get some shots to be full-time starters this year. Parmelee tore it up at the end of last season down in AAA ball, too. Everybody had a lot of good things to say about him and what he was doing as well. Brian Dozier, I'm not sold on yet. I think he needs some time to kind of figure out what it is that he's doing. I don't mind Trevor Plouffe on third base, but I'd like to see an actual third baseman on third base.
Yeah, I don't think he's...
Plouffe is a better shortstop and second baseman than he is third baseman.
Correct.
The outfield is going to be a big toss-up, outside of Willingham, essentially.
Well, that's because we got rid of...
Darren Mastriani is still going to be there, too, so get to see him.
Woo!
Yeah.
Stoked.
Mastriani. The master.
Not so much.
No, he's okay.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
Well, he's not terrible.
I mean, he filled in very well, when we needed him to.
Yeah, that's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah. It's going to be another long season.
Yeah.
Whatever. It'll be fun. I love baseball. Pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. Single season tickets or single game tickets go on sale on Friday. Rest of the team reports on Friday. First full practice on Saturday. We're in baseball mode. Yeah, I sent out a tweet because I had probably 13 or 14 people on my timeline on Sunday go, man, it's weird not seeing football on Sunday.
I know, I saw that too.
And I posted, I said, it seems a lot of you have forgotten how the sports seasons work.
Yeah.
And that once the Super Bowl is done, there isn't any more football until August or September.
We just miss it because it's better than baseball.
False.
No, that's true.
No. It is not called America's pastime.
It still gets more ratings, sells more tickets.
Behind baseball.
No.
If we're going in reverse order.
Oh, you have an answer for everything.
Baseball is still the second favorite sport in America.
It depends on who you ask.
According to ticket sales and money is taken in.
Okay.
It's baseball.
Okay.
Over the NBA.
Well, yeah, I don't get it, but baseball's boring.
You just don't appreciate all the little intricacies about baseball.
And I used to play softball. It's not like I don't understand the game. It's just boring.
I love baseball. It's the best way to sit out there for 3 hours and just
I'm not. I love that. Don't get me wrong.
Or sitting inside and doing the same thing too.
No, not sitting inside. No. If I have, I'll put the Twins game on when I'm doing stuff around the house or whatever. But I won't. I will not sit down for 3 hours and watch a baseball game.
Oh, love
while
it.
doing nothing else. No.
Love it.
Nope.
Absolutely love it. It's 5:22 though. We're gonna take a short break. Thank you for tuning into Sizzle 99.9. We're into the last period of the show. We're going to make some things happen like we always do. We're going to talk Grammys, top 3 favorite bands-ish things. And we've got Fractured Pixels from 6 until 8 right after this.
It begins with a flash. I know they say it ends the same. Bit of skill, bit of chance. Now every player gets the game. We start with these planets waltzing through the darkness. Tip the axis, that one's ours. Zoom the camera in, cue lights up, dim the stars. We shape the stone, paint our pictures on the wall. We hunt alone, plant in spring, learn to harvest in the fall. We choose a king, mind the metaphors for just to better wage our wars. And all of Olympus is laughing until we go and split the atom.
Built this city on coal and gold. Money that trickle out, fill up that cup, sip it down. From the salt and the sails on down the rails. Everything for sale is a golden rule, including, well, I'm no fool. They get in a rush and a haste, but I get out of mind, out of body, out of pocket. I don't mind putting on a bit of mileage, but won't autopilot with my eyelids shut. I'm still gunning, but I learn what's worth hunting, and I learn what's worth nothing. So I read it out with no
looking for that easy way. There's nowhere to go. Yeah.
Now all the parts are running, sparks are spilling out the gears. Over some thousand faces waiting years to see this work. Aching cause they need it first. Patient but they seem berserk. Craving for that feast of merch. You'll save a slice for me and her. Isn't it marvelous? Just darling, it's the newest thing. It's totally harmless, but it's charming. It's the cutest thing, but it bites not hard. Just hard enough to break the skin. And your bone, and your back, and the bank. But wait, it comes with a warranty for a week, and that's respectable. It's cheap and it's ethical. Well, it's ethical. Well, it's magical, really. See, you put the cash in the till, fill in the blanks, that's it. For my next trick, you need your password and an exit. And then poof, it's the end of the fall.
Always looking for that.
grand experiment.
Thank you for tuning into the Panda Pete program for the Monday edition. This is the only edition this week. We're going to do this show every Monday now for the foreseeable future. So if you missed it today or you want to check us out, we're trying to figure out the whole podcasting thing slowly but surely. So bear with us as we try to get that figured out so you can listen if you missed us that way. Cloudy and breezy with 28 degrees right now, a low of 10. Tomorrow we've got a high of 30, a low of 19, partly sunny all day. And then on Wednesday we've got flurries in the afternoon with a high of 36 and a low of 21. For your sizzling 99 traffic, there are no active accidents or road work going on, so your road and your drive are going to be nice and clear aside from the normal rush hour jumble. Di, did you watch the Grammys last night?
I did. I watched pretty much all of it.
Okay.
I mean, I watched the Wolves and the Gophers for a couple hours, and then I turned it off because it made me sad. And I thought I would watch the Grammys because that would be entertaining.
And was it entertaining? Were you entertained?
I think the awards are stupid. I mean, I watched for the performances, and some of them were good. I thought, I love Justin Timberlake. He and Jay-Z killed it. It was awesome. I was never like a boy band, like I never was into NSYNC or whatever.
Yep.
And I didn't really start liking him until he co-hosted or hosted Saturday Night Live.
Hosted?
Yeah, when he hosted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word you're looking for.
Right. Well, I said co-hosted, then I said hosted.
But no, then you said coasted.
It's the Red Bull.
No, it's the lack of speech on Monday, I think, that's really getting everybody fired up.
But yeah, so I mean, I love the fact that he didn't take himself very seriously. And he can perform.
Bring it on down to Alderville. One of the best skits I've ever seen.
Well, there's also that other one involving a box.
Could you explain it in graphic detail, please, Di?
No, I cannot.
All right.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, him and Andy Samberg really did some interesting things.
They did some funny things. Yeah. He's very funny. I hated seeing Rihanna sitting next to Chris Brown.
I hate Rihanna and Chris Brown.
Yeah, I'm not a big Rihanna fan. I mean, I think she's incredibly beautiful, and she can sing. Oh, okay, well, just hear me out. Don't interrupt me.
Sorry.
But I think she's nuts. I mean, she's got to be so damaged.
She has to be. If you would go back to a guy that beat the crap out of you probably more than once, and you're willing to take him back.
Yeah, and the whole world has basically seen this play out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's damaged, and he's a complete D-bag.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing, too, is, Frank Ocean won the award for whatever it was, and they showed him just sitting there, like, smirking, not standing up, just kind of giving that sarcastic slow clap sort of thing, too. I mean, okay, so the dude is, an actual womanizer and woman beater, and he's basically come out and proven that he's also homophobic as well, too.
Yes.
And people still buy and support his music.
That I don't understand.
Well, Kesha has a song, and it's not a good song, but I mean
None of Kesha's songs are good.
But it was that Die Young song or whatever it was.
After the Sandy Hook thing.
And that gets pulled instead
I think that was a sensitivity thing. I mean...
Well, if it's a sensitivity thing, then we need to pull Chris Brown because he's one of the most insensitive people on the planet.
I would agree with you.
I mean, it's one thing if it's like, somebody had said something and it was interpreted the wrong way and it turned into something and they figured it out. But, I mean, it's basically just Chris Brown asserting his authority, and showing that he's a big deal and that he can basically do whatever he wants to do without any, repercussions from it.
Yeah, I can't even say enough really bad things about him. Like, he totaled his Porsche or something.
Yep.
There was a part of me that would have been totally okay if he didn't make it out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like to wish that on very many people. He's one of those people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's a terrible person.
He's a horrible human being. Speaking of horrible human beings, John Mayer.
Yeah, I saw that. What's
Katy? Okay, someone needs to explain to me how it is that this unattractive, untalented, complete D-bag scores with all these hot women.
Tony Romo.
You know what? Tony Romo's better looking than John Mayer.
Tony Romo has no talent.
First of all, John Mayer looked like Willy Wonka last night. He was wearing like this crushed velvet, ugly leisure suit thing with a crooked bow tie. And I love bow ties, by the way. It's no slam on bow ties. He does not know how to wear one. But yeah, so Katy Perry. Katy Perry.
Dude, he's dated like 1,000 really attractive.
I would be seriously concerned. Okay, is that like the list of women he's gone out with?
No, this is the picture of him
in his ugly suit.
That's weird.
No one can explain it to me. I do not understand.
I don't know.
I love Katy Perry. I have the biggest girl crush on Katy Perry. It sickens me that she's with him.
I think everybody has the biggest girl crush on Katy Perry.
Well, I mean, I know.
Or man crush.
I can figure out why guys like her, but, she's just...
She's a phenomenal singer.
She's phenomenal. And she's just cool. And she's really hot.
She dated Russell Brand.
Yeah, clearly she has, like, issues, right? Because, like, Russell Brand, John Mayer, there's a pattern here. Like, she's D-bag hunting. That's what she's doing. Yeah.
Is that what it is? So she's going to date, like, David Kahn next or Percy Harvin?
I don't know. I don't think she'll date Kahn. She's, like, 2 feet taller than he is.
That's true. He is a midget. Well, okay, so we're going to go over some of the awards, the important ones I get. I don't know which ones.
I didn't even pay attention half the time to who won. It was like, I just was really watching the music.
All right. Well,
Bruno Mars was really good.
Record of the year was somebody that I used to know by
Gautier. Okay,
featuring Kimbra.
Please tell me you've actually heard that song.
No.
Wow. Okay.
Nope. Album of the year, Babel by Mumford & Sons. Everybody told me to listen to it. I never did.
I think their music, I don't like it.
It's super folksy.
But it's like the same song over and they all sound the same. It
falls into Bob Dylan syndrome.
They all sound the same.
Yeah.
Also like Nickelback. All their songs sound the same.
No.
I'm not trying to equate Mumford & Sons with Nickelback.
Thank you. Okay.
Just to make that clear. Yeah. Because, I mean, Mumford & Sons are talented.
Right.
So I'm not saying that. Just, do something different.
If Chad Kroeger lost the ability to sing, I would not be terribly disappointed in that.
I don't think anybody would be disappointed.
Song of the year was We Are Young by Fun. Yeah. That one I did hear.
Oh, how could you not? Although I don't know how you couldn't have heard the Gautier song.
I make it a very strong point not to. If I hear a song and I don't know what it is and I don't like it, I make no attempt to actually figure out what it is.
Well, yeah, I can understand.
I live in the dark when it comes to that.
I don't really like Fun.
I don't either. They seem like a really crappy All-American Rejects.
There's just something I don't know what it is. I kind of liked that song when it first came out.
But it got beaten to death.
Right.
Even worse than Gangnam Style. Fun made it through the whole year.
I will give you that.
Okay.
I will give you that.
Gangnam Style was like a big thing for like 4 months, and then it has slowly started to go away.
Well, the Gautier song was big for a long time too.
Yeah, I don't know. The best new artist was Fun. The pop solo performance was Set Fire to the Rain live by Adele. Pop vocal album was Stronger by Kelly Clarkson, your girl.
She killed it last night.
Pop duo group performance, Somebody I Used to Know by Gautier featuring Kimbra. Paul McCartney won traditional pop vocal album. Rap performance was The N-Words in Paris by Jay-Z and Kanye West. I also don't like Kanye West, so whatever.
Yeah, he's also a D-bag. Maybe that's right. He's with Kim now. So.
Yeah. Rap song was same song, Something in Paris by those two alongside.
Now, do you like Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Jay-Z.
He's good for what he does. I like him.
Right.
I don't have anything negative to say about him. And all of his albums are usually a little different too.
Mm-hmm. When he collaborates a lot with different, artists.
No, the one thing about collaborations that there are some albums where it's like a couple collaborations are really cool because it's nice to see like some of the things. But the problem I have with like a lot of pop and rap albums nowadays is that every track is a collaboration. It's like I just want to hear a song where like Jay-Z or Kanye West or,
Here's the thing though.
Katy Perry doesn't collaborate. It makes money, it sells a lot of albums, and it gets people to buy it that wouldn't normally buy it.
If the artists stopped doing so much collaborating, Pitbull would be out of a job. And I'm not saying that's bad, but that's really all he does.
Mm-hmm. And it's one thing if, like, Andre 3000 of Outkast does, like, his 1 or 2, guest verses every year. That's fine. He's not making any other music right now. That's cool. But I mean, it's like Justin Bieber was on like everything. Nicki Minaj is on everything. Like, what is it? Tyga and like Lil Wayne and Flo Rida and Pitbull and all of these guys are on.
That's what they do.
It's like, come on, man. Get over it. What else do we want to do? rap album was Take Care by Drake. R&B album was Black Radio by Robert Glasper Experience. I don't even know who that is. Urban Contemporary album, though, was Channel Orange by Frank Ocean. Rock performance was Lonely Boy by the Black Keys. And rock album was El Camino by the Black Keys. Do you like the Black Keys? Or do they fall into the Mumford & Sons category?
They're kind of. I mean,
I totally get it with when people talk about Mumford & Sons and the Black Keys is they have their specific genre that they go into, and they don't break out of that whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, at least with the Rolling Stones, as they got older and started doing their songs, got different as they went along. But like, you can listen to the first Black Keys album to the newest Black Keys album, and it's the same kind of songs, just in different orders with different lyrics.
And some people like that. I mean, they like the sound, so they want that consistency. I kind of like an artist or a band to grow and kind of evolve.
Right, and I don't like the bands that completely grow and evolve from what they started off to be, but I like the ones that just have that gradual progression of them like getting more mature as they go along. And so, yeah, Skrillex won stuff with the...
Taylor Swift was... I think she opened it. I caught just the tail end of it. She had some weird like circus thing going on with her Never Ever 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 song.
Taylor Swift is a horrible human being.
I wish she would go away.
Yeah.
Forever and ever.
And ever.
And ever.
But she didn't win an award.
No, she didn't, thankfully. But, LL Cool J was not, and then I love LL Cool J. He's not a good host.
Not a good MC.
No, not a good MC. He should stick to
acting. On NCIS.
Yeah, he should do that. He was not good.
Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Robin.
I don't watch that show.
Robin and LL Cool J. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like looking through a lot of these. And for the most part, I'm like, I don't even know who half these people are.
I kind of felt that, too, last night. Adam Levine, Maroon 5, played with, kind of tied in with Alicia Keys.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great performance, I thought. Elton John and, gosh, I can't think of the name. I mean, Elton John played on a few different things, but I can't think of who the guy he sang with, but he sounded terrible. Like, really bad.
Has he been doing anything lately? Or is it just kind of like, hey,
I'm Elton
you're
John.
Elton John. Yeah.
He's kind of evolved into this weird Liberace kind of person.
But not a talented Liberace kind of person?
I mean, to me, he's kind of played out. But, I suppose he still has rabid fans.
Well, a lot of it, too, is that he just hasn't done anything new for a while. And
no, he just kind of hangs out.
Yeah, it is. Did you see Stubby J's tweet?
No, I did not.
He says, I am now the official president of the Lady Di Katy Perry Girl Crush fan club. And he hashtag that not creepy at all, awesome hot.
Yeah, she's awesome hot. And that dress she was wearing last night was... Did you see the pictures? They were pretty much everywhere, so you'd have to be blind.
I saw my timeline blow up about Katy Perry like halfway through the Grammys.
Yeah.
So I hit Google, and then I searched Google Images really quickly, and
And you favorited, like you downloaded a bunch of or pictures, or...
No.
Did you think she looked smoking hot?
She always looks smoking hot.
Oh, sometimes she some of the weird, like, costumey things she wears is like,
But she seems like she's kind of gotten away from that lately.
Yeah, I think so.
She's out of, like, her crazy, but she hasn't really put out an album for a while either.
Yeah, just everything she does is just gold.
Yeah.
Or platinum. Platinum's better.
I like her.
Yeah, me too.
I don't really care for her songs, though.
I like her songs.
Some of them, like, I've listened to some of them, and they're, like, super catchy. Like, and I totally sometimes get her confused with, like, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, geez.
Like, the songs.
Carly Rae Jepsen has one song, and it's that one annoying Call Me Maybe song.
And she did that other stupid one with Owl City, too.
Okay. So she has 1.5 songs.
Yeah. Owl City can go away, too. I know he's from Owatonna. He's from Minnesota.
I was saying he's from here.
He can go back to Owatonna and make music in his parents' basement again.
That's not nice.
Well, I can't even do that, so I mean,
So what was what were the Katy Perry songs that you like? You can't think of any?
It's Always a Good Time? Is that one of hers?
No.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's the Owl City one.
Yeah.
With Carly Rae Jepsen, I think.
Okay. Whatever. I don't know.
Wow, your assignment is to go listen to some Katy Perry music.
Yeah, I'll probably do that tomorrow night at work for something. No, Dan, I'm not going to trade Harvin for Alex Smith. No, that's a terrible idea.
Someone actually tweeted that we should trade Percy Harvin for Alex Smith.
If Dan comes to trivia tomorrow night, I'm going to hit him because that would.
Can you hit him once for me too?
I'll hit him 4 times.
Thank you.
Yeah, come on, Dan.
That was a bad idea.
Lock it up. By the way, Paul, I'm sorry for slighting you. I didn't know that you were listening with Nick to the radio show, so I'm sorry, Paul. I apologize. This is your honor shout out.
Is there anybody else you wanted to make up to?
I don't want to make up to anybody. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm always right.
Right.
See? You agree with me. It's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Bands. You wanted to talk bands or artists.
Your top 3 currently or whatever.
Okay. Beastie Boys.
Classic.
Prince.
Yeah.
Katy Perry.
Beastie Boys don't seem to fit in that.
I have a wide range of genre that I listen to in music.
I know, it's like pop, like 2 pop, and then like old school, like hip hop.
But I like, Jay-Z, Eminem. I really would like Eminem to put out an album. A new one.
I never got into Eminem.
I really like him. Not the like Slim Shady days where he was a clown. But
his newer stuff is like more serious.
Yes, I like that better.
Oh, speaking of people that always guest spot on crap, Rihanna. She does like thousands of things, and I don't like her.
Okay, so what about, other than she's stupid and probably crazy, you don't think she's attractive?
Don't find her attractive. Don't think she can dance. Don't think she can sing. Her songs themselves are repetitive and awful.
Okay.
Like, one of your biggest songs is Oh Nah Nah, What's My Name? You have to ask all of your fans what your own name is because...
Is that the Umbrella song?
No, the song itself is called "Oh Na Na, What's My Name," and she repeats it like 12 times.
Yeah, I've heard it.
In a row, and then she does that like 3 times total in the song. But the Umbrella song, Ella, 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 A.
You know her music pretty well for not liking her.
Oh, because it's so bland and vanilla that it's like it burns itself into your. It's like you purposely try to avoid it, and it finds a way to like get into your brain. And like just sink there for forever.
Wow.
I can't stand her.
I don't hate her that much. I think she's stupid. But I don't hate her. I mean, I have a couple of her songs on neither of those in my iTunes library, but I have a couple of her songs.
Like this fact that she.
All right, what are yours? I gave mine. You give yours.
All right. One of them was Yellow Card. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I've never heard of them.
They're like a pop punk band from Florida.
Okay.
Second one is Doomtree, the Doomtree Collective. They're a hip-hop group from Minneapolis.
Okay.
5 rappers, 2 DJs. They do a lot of stuff together and as solo artists. So they cover a wide variety outside of the group themselves, too. And then my number 1 would be Foo Fighters.
Oh, that was... They're like... They would have made my list if I'd had more.
Yeah. Dave Grohl has to be one of the greatest human beings on the planet. The stuff that he says is fantastic.
He was great last night. He presented.
He hosted like Chelsea Lately like a week or so ago, and like one of the quotes was like F Glee. I mean, he just comes out and says like what everybody is thinking.
Well, because he can.
Yeah, but I mean, he super like. My favorite thing was that I was watching like one of the Foo Fighter DVDs, and it was when they were putting together their last album. And he's like walking through his house. He's like, yeah, this is my, multi-million-dollar recording studio that I had together, and we've done albums here, and I've done recordings for a whole bunch of artists and bands and everything like this, But then when I was putting this album together, I said, F it, let's record it in my garage with an analog tape recorder. And that's what they did.
Wow.
So they went completely away from the digital production side and just recorded everything in his garage. Because he's Dave Grohl.
He's Dave Grohl.
And then one of the things they did with the album, too, is that they cut up that recording stuff, and then they put a little bit of that in every album.
Nice.
So you got like a little piece of the actual like tape.
Very cool.
Yeah.
He's a very cool guy.
I mean, Dave Grohl would be like the one person that like if I ever got to meet and like hang out with and sit down that I would legitimately fanboy over. Sweaty palms, heightened breathing, the little fluttery hand thing and the awkward giggle, yeah. Dave Grohl's awesome. If I could be anybody for a day, I would be Dave Grohl.
Okay. I'd probably be Katy Perry. Only then I would dump John Mayer, have myself tested for various diseases, and then find myself a decent man.
But it's only for a day.
She should still do all of those things.
In a day.
For sure.
Just make it all happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I mean that's what I would do if I could be anybody for a day.
You'd go completely fanboy over Dave Grohl.
Oh yeah. It is.
I have mad respect for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's awesome. And he started out as a drummer. And the first 2.5 albums for Foo Fighters he did entirely himself. Sang, played the guitar, played the bass, played the drums in the recording studio. So the guy can do pretty much.
Do you have a big Dave Grohl poster in your bedroom?
No. That would be a little too much because I don't want to wake up and see Dave Grohl the first thing every morning. I'll take my Jessica Alba posters instead.
Okay.
That I got when I was in college.
Okay.
But
she's not too hard to look at.
No.
No.
Sin City poster. Where she had. Did you ever see the movie Sin City?
No.
She's got like this kind of cowboy outfit on with like big old golden guns and a like gold bullet belt too. Yeah, I like that.
I can tell.
Mm-hmm. Still not Katy Perry though.
No, she's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ever see her movie?
No.
I did. But that's when I think I developed the serious girl crush.
I don't have any legitimate reason to, as a straight human male, go into that movie without losing a man card, but still gaining a man card at the same time. So it's kind of a wash.
Yeah, I took my daughter, so I felt,
Yeah. See,
legit.
It'd be different if there was, like, children involved that I could take to the movie and,
Right.
like, suffer through it that way. But just as myself, as 26, to walk into a movie theater with screaming girls and, screaming moms.
Especially, like, preteen girls,
Yeah.
which is just creepy. Right.
Yeah, I don't think that would work out so well. Whatever.
It's on DVD,
No.
You could probably watch it and nobody will have to know.
Yeah, I got better things to do. Play Pokemon.
Oh, God. Those Pokemon books are hugely popular in my library, I will say. The boys are always bugging me to get more Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. They're awesome.
I can't stand them, but I buy them.
And wrestling?
I placed my order.
What did you pick?
I think I got like 5 or 6. I can't remember.
That's awesome.
I took the couple that you guys recommended, and then I just freelanced the others.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Taylor and Stubby J went where I was going with my Rihanna joke, but I stopped. So if you want to see the conclusion to the joke, look on Twitter.
I will do that.
But we've got Taylor and Eric, Fractured Pixels, coming up next from 6 until 8 o'clock. We're going to be off in a couple of minutes here. Thank you for tuning into the Panda Pete program. We do this every Monday from 3 until 6 p.m. Don't forget that tomorrow from 3 until 6, we've also got We're All Watching with Rico. Call into the Fractured Pixels show. Talk to the guys a bit. 612-235-6353. We're trying to get this show up on podcast along with the other ones as well, too, if you missed it or you missed any segment of it as well. Thank you for tuning into the show today. We'll be back on Monday to do the belated Di birthday show.
Woo!
So we might actually let her host the whole thing, and she can talk about what she wants to.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But once again, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
My reading is like whatever you believe in this life. I'm reading it right. Whatever catch you singing you like. It's like, could it be hot or could it be cold or could it control? I'm leaving it critical to the party goers exclusively. And you agree I'm much better than I used to be. Because J5 MC, we here to rock. Rhymes like ours can never be stopped. You heard the four of us, even though it's 6. Guaranteed to succeed while we're bringing you this. I kill J5 with the rest of you. South Central.